There I am. Greetings, everyone. How you guys doing?
I'm good.
You good?
Anybody else good?
Everybody else in the chat room good? Let's see how we're doing out there. It looks like my viewer number is not showing up over here. Oh, there we go. Oh, it's a big fat 0. Hot.
Aww.
That's impressive. Everybody will show up in a second. Don't worry. Good. Well, I'm glad you guys are here with us and saying hi to everybody watching this on the video demand as a video demand later. We're going to work on some data-driven, more data-driven stuff today. I think I'm just going to jump right into it. I guess I should see, check in with you, Roy. How are you doing now? You good?
I'm doing pretty good. I am. It's been a long day, but I'm feeling good about this part of it.
You guys getting used to the new offices?
It's really, I quite like the new offices.
Yeah.
If not for the huge vacuous space above me that leads to the echo you hear. But actually quite pleasant. I do like the place.
So it's interesting. So I'm going to be moving houses. We bought a kind of real interesting story. When we came here about 2 years ago, we looked at this house here in Costa Rica, and it was about I don't know, it was about $500,000, something like that. And it was like bigger than what we needed, but it was pretty. It was pretty cool, and we were thinking, okay, I think we can make this work, and then we find out there's no such thing really as financing in Costa Rica, and we're like, oh, well, we still got a house we're trying to sell in the United States, and so I guess we're not going to get this house. So we didn't get the house. 2 years later, we find out the school our kids are going to bought that house to become the school. The house, since then, was purchased by folks who were involved in money laundering and caught by Interpol. And so when they were forced to sell the house, and they were forced to sell it at a price that was no more than the amount of money they put into it or something like that. Or than it was originally worth before they put all the money into it. And since they built horse stables, a pool, they did all kinds of crazy things. It looks like a freaking mansion. So they buy it for about $400,000. It's worth easily about $800,000. We're stunned by this, but they can't turn it into a public school because it's not on a main road. In Costa Rica, it's got to be on a main road. Codeman Coz is here. Says hello, good morning, good afternoon. In case I don't see you, good night. Thank you, Codeman Coz, for that very thoughtful greeting. I'm expecting your fanfare to kick in as soon as we leave this screen. I don't think you can, and somebody else sends a chat message out. As I recall, that's what the code does. But they can't open the school because they're not on a main road. Now,
someone needs to build a road.
Well, there's a main public road that goes on right nearby it, but it's connected to a different house. That house is for sale. We bought that house, and we set up an agreement with the school, so the school is essentially now has access through a public road.
Cool.
And so the school opens up, and we're essentially right next door. We're in a much smaller place, no pool, but there's a pool right over there at a school that is totally indebted to us because they couldn't exist without us making this whole thing happen. So we're going to be moving from here to there. We're actually building some container homes pieces on this land as well, because we've got the house is kind of small. My wife and I are going to be in there, and we're going to put the kids out in the containers. And so we were designing those and going through that process. So it's kind of fun. So that's kind of what's going on. Copper Beardy's out there as well. Let's see what happens when we switch out to a normal view of the code here. Let's see if somebody sends a chat message, see if our fanfares are working or not. I'm going to say hi to our folks who are out there. I'll send a message. I think I look so goofy when I dance, by the way. Everybody else is like, well, at least I'm not looking like that guy. Let's go dance. Whew. This is perfect, because we need Codeman codes for this. We're going to be thinking today. Just what we need. I'm sure he's working on something good. I was... I feel like I just got to back up a little bit here. There he is, folks. Codeman Codes. Got it. He's got it. All right. Awesome. And we should see, I think the next time a chat message comes up, I think Copper Beardy, if our queuing system is working, we should see something from Copper Beardy, even if he doesn't say anything out there. So let's just test that. I'm just going to send out the... Oh, there's a test from Rory. Copper Beardy somehow snuck by. Snuck by. Interesting. Maybe... Oh, there we go. Wait, oh, man. I need an umbrella here. Seriously. Yeah, shower time. You know, it's...
Beardy is in the house.
I feel like we're a real professional show, and these are all the guest stars. Whoa! Here comes Will.
Is in the house.
Will is funny. Will is here. The preceding announcement was not paid for by a super PAC. The subject approves this message. Vote Will this fall. He doesn't kiss babies. Will, I'm so glad you're here as well. This is awesome. Everyone is here. All our friends are here. So let me tell you where I'm going. You know, this happens, I think, all the time with me in coding, and probably, it happens to a lot of folks too, where you're working on something and you realize, oh, this is in the wrong place. Oh, I didn't think this out all the way through. And, we started with all of this crazy code in our D&D app. Let me see if I can give you a sample of some of that crazy code. I just page up or page down. I haven't refactored it or touched this since yesterday, that I believe. But we're creating all of these weapons in here. Here we go. This is what some of that weapon code looks like. So add player action shortcuts for Ava. We commented this out, so we're not calling this anymore. But we had calls to like add battle axe. We were specifying what her modifier was going to be, her minimum damage as well. We were like doing all of this stuff, and it's not great. It's not great because it's a lot of code. We're adding special effects. It's a lot of data, and it's data in the code. And I decided, a lot of ways you can take it out, but I decided, well, let's just put it in a CSV. I felt for me, managing the data in a CSV would be, inside a spreadsheet, would be useful, because then I could come and look at the effects and compare them and do all that. By the way, I think I added these two since we ended the show yesterday. Chaos Bolt 1 and 2 and 3. So it's the same spell, but I did something kind of cool. I changed what effects were running based on which spell slot level we were playing this at. So it's just kind of getting, more and more over the top. So if we come in to the app, I'll just show you these three here, and you can kind of see it. It's kind of a subtle effect. But if we send the player data over, there it is right there. And then we go switch over to Merkin, and we bring up my actions, and here's Chaos Bolt 1 it's kind of just, I get one kind of thing going over my shoulders, and it just kind of spins. So it's 1 every 2 seconds. And also you notice the head of the staff is kind of a light purple. Kind of it's got a low opacity to it. And then I go to Chaos Bolt 2. It's going to be slightly confusing because they're both up at the second. One that just goes down. It's got 2 of these going around so 1 every second. And it's changed its pattern. It's a different pattern, so it looks a little more. And the head of the staff is now a little bit more opaque. And then finally we go to Chaos Bolt 3, and the head of the staff, the magic effect is totally opaque, and these things are coming 3 times every 2 seconds.
I get a distinct "now we're in trouble" kind of feel about this.
Yeah, and if we combine this with, it's a subtle effect, but if we combine it with sound effects, I think you're just the suspension of disbelief will just kick in, and you'll be like, oh my God, he's doing it at spell slot level 3, kids, right? It'll be something along those lines. So that's kind of what I think is going to be happening with that. Fred, what do you think about that so far? You good with that, Fred? Yeah? Okay. So Fred says yes.
Official seal of approval. We're good.
Fred says we are good. Let's close up the boom, that right there. I just realized we need my app up here. Roy's very quiet, could barely hear him. All right, hold on.
That's not good.
This is this crazy thing where I have to jam up my desktop audio in my ears.
Testing.
Yeah, he's got to be better now. Hey, thanks so much, Codeman Codes, for that feedback. Fred the Lizardman, he says yes. Yeah, Fred's, definitely kind of a good guy. You right, Fred? Are you number one? Yep. He says he's number one. Fred's number one. He's very happy about that. All right. After the show yesterday, though, I was looking at my die strings here. I had a bunch of them in here, and we're sending them over in the code, too. I took them out of this spot. But in the code, we're doing the same thing. Look at this. We're passing over what the die strings were. Whatever those were. That's not a great example there. There's a better example here, right here.
Yeah.
So if I use my battle axe one-handed, it's 1d8 plus 5, slashing. If I use it two-handed, it's 1d10 plus 3, right? Mm-hmm. Whatever these numbers are that we're calculating, right? We're not calculating them here. And it turns out that these numbers are relative to stats on the player, which I kind of, figured out yesterday. And when I figured that out, I realized that every time the player levels up or their abilities change, and their abilities like their strength, their charisma, their constitution, dexterity, those numbers change, those may have an impact on these numbers. And I realized that putting them in as text here, and alternatively as text here, was totally wrong.
It's kind of a form of hard coding, something which should be dynamically figured out.
Yeah, it is. And so I was like, okay. So I just deleted it, but now we got to figure it out.
Okay.
And I created a new spreadsheet over here, a new tab called Weapons. You need to put formula into the spreadsheet.
I
don't know.
Kind of. If there was a formula in the spreadsheet that when you export it as CSV, it would still have static values. And what you need is for the formula to continue being dynamic during the course of actually doing things. So, for example, you might be under a spell which lowers one of your main attributes, which then has a knock-on effect to the dice combination that you're able to take advantage of.
Well, I'm going to put the formula...
Say level up, what have you.
I'm going to put the formula essentially in the code, I think, because it's... I think we can, and maybe I'll move it to a formula. I'll move it later. But let me go over to spells, and I just want to point out that we actually kind of already are doing that. Let's see. It's the dice stirring right here.
Okay, we maybe misunderstood. So he says, no, I mean the formula tells the code how to do the calculation. So what I'm now thinking, of course, is the structure of it is in the code, and the base data on which the structure is going to be in the sheet.
Yeah, no, I get that.
And that's what we load in.
Yeah, I get that. And so I was just going to say that this dice ring is kind of like a formula to some degree. It says use three six-sided dice and give it the attribute of fire. And if we come down here, it says 1d8 plus Sam. Sam is like a variable for the spell ability modifier. The spellcaster's ability modifier is what I believe it's. It's the acronym is for. At any rate, I go look that up when I see Sam. So to some degree, we're kind of doing a little bit of that already. And so I've got the spells. I just added the weapons. I built this last night based on another chart that I saw, which just had this, and I just went through and I added all of these fields because I thought these would be handier to use. So, for example, the battle axe, I assume you can do functions Google Docs as you can in Excel. Yeah, you can. It's actually very cool. In fact, from my perspective, Google Docs and Google Sheets have pretty much totally replaced Word and Excel for me because of the shareability, the ease of the shareability that's out there, and the permanence, right? I put that out there, and I can lose every piece of equipment in my house, and I still have access to the data. So, Yeah. So
Pretty similar myself, actually. Yeah.
yeah, Kobe Salva says so. Battle axe one-handed is 1d8 plus something. STR. Yeah. This. I think you're saying the strength modifier, right? Is what I believe you're saying there. Yeah. Although, if it's, I took some notes because I was like, to be honest, I'm not an expert at D&D, and I was a little bit confused, and I started looking at this. The 2-hit modifier, that's when you roll the d20 to see if you're hitting or not. So you can modify that. And in our app, what we were doing is we were just kind of manually coming in here on this, and we were saying, well, my 2-hit modifier is like a +6. We would set that, and then we would like roll the dice. Are we on the right page so we can roll some dice? It looks like we are, but I just need to refresh the 3D dice, I think. Cache and... refresh the cache, send the player data over one more time, and then just choose a player, and then do it one more time. So there's my +6, and then I roll my attack, and so whatever this number is, it's a 12 plus 6, so it's an 18. If it's over my hidden threshold, which is a 12, it's a hit, like that. That's what we were doing before. But now we're going to do is we're populating these action buttons, and when we click the action button, it's going to fill everything out, and we need to make sure it calculates the modifier correctly.
So presuming that Merkin had a handheld weapon like one of those axes, according to what we've learned so far, you'd push the button for the axe, which would naturally be there by virtue of him having that. You wouldn't need to have a +6. It would actually get the +8, or possibly down to +7, because strength is 8 and there's a -1 on there. Is that the thing it would use for the melee weapon?
Yeah, so for melee, if I was using it as a melee strike, it would do a -1, so it would be there as my modifier. Plus, though, it's my proficiency bonus if I'm proficient in the weapon. Now, as a fighter, I would be proficient, but I'm not sure if I'm proficient in that weapon or not, right? So I need to actually, in my character sides sheet right here, my players, I need to add a weapon proficiency column over here. Weapon proficiency. Let's get caps lock off. Really? Caps lock off.
Code says, I'm very out of my depth with this. I've never been near D&D. Well, I'm very close to that. It's probably been about 30 years since I've done any D&D.
Yeah.
I have the passing kind of familiarity, I think, is probably the way. Mark here is clearly the key expert in the field.
So fighters have weapon proficiency with all weapons, right?
Okay.
I do not have that. I'm just going to write all down here like this, I think, for Ava, because she's a fighter. And we'll add these later because I don't know what the characters actually are. But I'm going to add weapon proficiency there. Now that I've added that, let's go fix my DTO for this. So this is the player DTO right here, I believe. This is in the D&D app that's running now. Let's close that, kill that down. We're going to go in there. Kobe Alpha says, I played tabletop RPGs for 30 plus years. Nice. So Kobe Alpha's happy, I think, with this right now. So we want to go, I think there's a player DTO out here somewhere. I know where it is. Player action shortcut. No. Where is it? It's in all, wait, I know. All players. There it is.
DTO is what you call it.
And let's see, when I load them, it's character DTO. Yeah, I created a class called character, but in the game we were calling them players, so that's what's going on. So character DTO is here. So now we want to come in and we want to create a what is it? Did I put on the clipboard? Weapon proficiency.
Proficiency, yeah.
Yeah, so weapon proficiency is there. Let's go. Am I doing anything with alignment? I'm doing that with it, at least. Whoops, did I copy that whole thing to the clipboard? Let's go back and just grab that right there and then paste that in. There's weapon proficiency. So we got the transfer there. So this is the transfer. I think that's going to say it doesn't know what that is. In fact, what I really want to do here is I want to say D&D utils .to weapon proficiency. It's going to be a lot of code like this today, I think. And this is going to be let's go drill into D&D utils just because I know it's down in the core and I need to create a class down in the core, an enum called weapons, I think. And now in here, I need to grab all of these basic kind of weapons that are here that I can have proficiency in. Oh my gosh, are you going to is this going to be mind-numbingly boring to watch this? Can I grab all of these,
You
copy
can copy
them,
all of those, yeah.
and paste them? Sweet. And then come in here and do this. And we're going to add commas to the ends of all of these. Light hammer, just get rid of my spaces. I suppose there are folks out there who'd be like, hey, Mark, just do a search and replace. And I'm like, I don't know. Okay, and now what I want to do is come out here, put the caret way out here, Alt, Shift up.
That's what I was going to do.
Comma.
I love that feature.
And
the
then-
rectangular selection is useful in so very many places.
Yeah, and then I don't need the last one there, and then Control KD, like that. And then that
Beautiful.
wasn't too painful to watch
Not
that.
at all.
Except I need this to be the flags thing. This is that's the pane now. The pane is now here. I just brought the pane. Make that a 2. I don't know how am I going to solve this? Wait, I got to figure out a fast way to solve this. I think I got it. Hold on. Blah, 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 blah. Actually, I like the letter A more. 1. So here's what I'm going to do. Whoops, this is going to be 2. Then I'm going to do duplicate line, and then I'm going to switch this to 4. And and I don't care if I do that, it'll give me a different one each time, will it? Well, look at that. Isn't that weird? Okay, anyway. So now I'm going to do this. So I'm just building the numbers up, right? As many as I need. Do I have enough? Maybe a few more. Are these numbers too big?
They look all right.
That
Certainly
looks
the
like-
30 and 32.
I got 60 slots. Do I have more than 60? It looks like I might be okay. What's my total count here? I have 39, so I'm good. Okay. All right, so now what I'm going to do is take all of these, and I'm going to replace the comma with nothing, and replace all. Oops, I was going to cut them to clipboard, but I need to cut them, I think, like this, where I mark them. Can I do a rectangular paste is my question. So I'm going to cut from here to here. This is going to make this work or fail.
That's interesting. Yeah.
Cut from there to there. Come down here and paste. Please work. Oh my gosh, I think it worked.
All right, yeah.
But it looks like we have, like either I miscounted or something's going wrong here. We have exceeded the number of bits that we can use
Huh.
in an enum. So, in a flag enum. Can use that tomorrow on my code. Says Codebase Alpha. Yeah, that was just Visual Studio. I don't think there was really anything CodeRushed in there, by the way. What's going on with our enum here? C#, enum, element, max count. Maybe not max number of elements. There we go. Look at you, Google, helping me out. We have to add the word flags. Ooh, the maximum single bit flag is 10737. Look at what we got. That's it. Obviously, a total of 32 flags. Wait. Wait, somebody said N64? Hold on. Yeah. Since the permissions seem repetitive, that's what I was going to do.
There you go.
Wait,
A
what?
little higher. So enum my flags, it inherits int64.
Oh. Not,
Because the
but a
default is to
related
assume.
suggestion. We use bit shifting to specify numeric values.
So he's using bit shifting to display, but more importantly, his enumeration inherits not from int32, but from int64, allowing for more entries.
I'm not sure that's going to work. Because you see the big fat 0 next to those answers? Let's see if that does it for us. Let's see what happens now. And are we going to be okay? Maybe we're right. Rory, look at that. Wow. Okay, sweet. Looks like that worked.
Nice.
Rory, you are a genius.
No. The Stack Overflow was the genius.
Yeah, but you're a genius
I just
because
read it on the page.
because this is me. I'm like, yeah, everybody says no to that guy. I'm not going to pick that guy on my team, right? He would have a big fat 0.
When you're all out of other options, you try the the wild throw.
By the way, so there is one part I forgot, which is CodeRushed, which is just I'm using CodeRushed duplicate line here, and it's giving me all the numbers.
Because let's face it, we don't want to work those numbers out on our own.
Yeah. I think it'll also work with the bit shifting too, right? So if we came in and said, oh, I want a bit shift. Instead, whoops, what am I doing? Oh, there's the 2 right there. Okay. So if we had said instead, use the bit shift suggestion, 1 bit shift to the left, 0, etc., all the way, then it should have, I'm pretty sure it'll do that, or maybe not. Will it get this? And this is going to be 1 bit shift 1, like that. And this is going to be, let's see if we can get it, 1 bit shift 2. Let's see what happens now. Is it going to get it? All right, there we go.
There you go.
So you can use that too if you want. All right, you just have to train it a little bit. You have to show it the pattern. Okay, so, and then let's add a big fat none right here, equal to 0. Nice. Let's extract this out into its own type. So now we've got a weapons class. Sweet. Next, we need, in our D&D utils, which is back where we were here, we need to add that to weapon is what we need to do. So we need a function that returns, is it on the clipboard? Did I add it on the clipboard? Yeah. So a function m that returns what's on the clipboard, that's the slash key. And then we're just going to say to weapon. Copper Beardy, my toss was cool, right? Oh, and I missed it. I was looking up at the code. So to weapon, we're going to bring in a string here, like this. And this is going to be like, I don't know, weapon.
This is the data coming straight from the spreadsheet, yeah?
Yeah, this is coming right from the spreadsheet. So,
Okay.
By the way, something I did in here, which is very, very cool, is up in here. Be this, and then and I'll show you what it does.
That looks clever.
So basically, I'm going to take my weapon string here, and I'm going to split it by commas to see if there's anything there. And I'm going to set the result to none, and then I'm going to go through all of the weapons in there. So it allows me to do comma delimited stuff. I'm going to then say to a single weapon, like this, make a second call here, like that.
Yep.
And I'm going to or equal the result, and I'm going to return it. This should be of type weapons in here, like this. So that's what I'm doing. I just found it super, super handy for this kind of, for what we were doing and listing things out. And then to single weapon is here. Let me go find the other 2 singles here. Here's one, and it's just basically a switch, trim, and going through all of the, basically looking and lowercasing it. So I'm basically making it user friendly in the spreadsheet. So
Yes.
the spreadsheet, let's call this weapon, could have spaces, and it could be case insensitive. It doesn't matter now, right? As long as it just has battle axe or whatever the piece is we're looking for it in there, then we'll get it and we'll create it. So next, what I need to do is go over to weapons, grab all of this. See if I can do this. I don't know if I can. I'm do this really quickly here. And then we're going to, let's see. First thing I want to do is, I guess, use a regular expression. So we're going to say, look for space equals space, dot star, and make sure it's a regular expression. There we go. And we're going to, Oh, let's do this. We want to find, what is it? A word? One or more of those words. Boom. Now I need to replace. And I need to be able to reference that. I think it's something like a slash is what I think it
That
is.
sounds valid, yeah.
You want to just try it? What do we got? You shouldn't have to use switch like that. You have example code on how to do it in the converter in the timeline control. All right. Well, let's just see what the
You're going to need some quotation marks anyway around what you've got.
I'm going to need quotation marks around. Oh, the one of them. Yeah, that's right. And it's going to be more like this with a colon actually, and then it's going to be a return weapon dot like that. If this works, I'm not convinced it's a /1 though. Yeah, it's not a /1.
Is it $1? I've seen dollar used in some
I feel like
cases.
we could guess or we could look it up, and let's see what happens if I do this. Oh, that worked.
Okay.
But it
You
just
seem to
didn't
have
get a...
you've lost the carriage. No, you haven't.
Yeah, I did. It seems like I lost the carriage
Yeah.
return. It formatted it. I need a semicolon at the end. I bet that's it. Look at that dollar one. You're a genius, Rory. So blowgun is equal to that. I think I still need I am losing the...
Can never remember if it's /n/
All right, let's
R
do
or
this.
/r/n.
There we go. How's that?
That's better, isn't it?
The only problem is the ones on the left are not lowercase. Let's replace all.
Right.
All right. So, okay. And guess who forgot that it was weapon singular, not weapons. Watch this though. If I come in, oh shoot, I have two of these, so I can't actually do that. Never mind. All right, so let's do this instead. Let's do search and replace to fix that. Let's go investigate what. Oh, I know what he's talking about. Yes. Yeah. I gotcha. I know what you're talking about. You're talking about using the enum check, is what you're talking about here. I need the word case in front of all of these, I think. Like this. That was the other piece I think I forgot. And it's just a case like that. All right,
We can rectangular insert that as well.
I want it. Although it works way better if I don't have any spaces in it. But I'm just going to do it, and I'll delete the extra ones that I don't need. Yeah, so I have not used this everywhere. So yes, I realize there's a way to go in to the that. Hold on, semicolon there, and I realize there's a way to do that. To go to the enum and get it. The problem I was having was with sleight of hand and some of the things that might show up with a space inside of them. And so, like animal handling and sleight of hand. And because I knew I had those special cases, I was like, well, let's just write it. It's not that hard to just create it once and do it. But I'm not entirely convinced necessarily that this is actually the better way to do it. That maybe a better way to do it is just look for those two special cases, and then if those don't work, then go in and get the enum element by name. Let's see if we can clean up in that direction, because usually Will gives us good suggestions here.
Is there another possibility also that you could just replace space with null string empty prior to doing this?
Oh yeah.
So that all the spaces get removed from the terms, at which point you're back to the defaults.
Yeah, that's hot. Okay. Now I'm starting to really like it.
We should have to worry about special cases. It's a generic form of a special case.
Yeah, no, I like it. It's all good. All good. Okay.
There's Will Bennett with the same suggestion. Sorry, Will, stomped on that one.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. I'm liking it. I'm starting to like it more. Okay, so let's come in here. We're going to return at the end. Let's go investigate that. Yeah, I can go search through timeline control, but I think I'm just going to go online and do the search. Get enum element from string name C sharp. C sharp. Oh, is it the wrong one? Hold on. Enum string name from value. That's not what I want. I want the opposite of this. Right? I want. Ooh, that's in Java. Let's add C sharp here. And what, you got it for me? I know I already have the code, but it's shorter to Google it than to go look through timeline control to find it. I don't remember what it's called. I'm like,
It's got to be enum.parse or something like that, right?
Yeah, I think it's something like that is my sense.
I know what you mean, though. It's the kind of code I never remember, but I never have to because Google is so close.
Yeah, what is it? Let's see. Do we have a parse on enum? We don't. Let's have it on weapons? I don't think we do.
Is it the specific enum? Yeah, .parse or...
Yeah, these are just the elements. No, it's something like enum. Is it with an uppercase E?
Okay.
Ooh, this might bear fruit. It's for the...
So there is a parse method on enum.
There it is. Parse. Sweet. Weapons.
It's the distinction between the C# keyword and the .NET object.
Yeah. So I think this is a type of right here. Here, let's just throw this up over here and just to see if we can get something to verify where
It's
we're
saying
going.
should be something like enum.getEnumNames or enum.getEnumValues.
Convert string of the name of numeric to one or more enumerated constants. One or more. Oh, because it's going to.
Well, because you can have multiple values of an enum that have the same internal numeric.
Yeah. Oh, look at this. It does. It's comma separated.
Really? We can just replace all the things?
That's flipping it right there. All right. So let's do it. Let's get smarter. Now, before we do that, hold on.
Be careful with things like underscores in that, though.
The first time I've used underscores are here in these crossbow, hand, heavy, light, and I'm doing. Let's look at the. I used underscores because there were commas in the original name when I was creating these. Lighthammer actually shouldn't have an underscore in it. Now that I think about it, let's do that. Anything else with underscores here? Unarmed strike doesn't need one. I don't know why I'm modifying the text and string. I think I'm going to remove that and get rid of it in a second. The war pick doesn't need one. And everything's good. Crossbow hand, crossbow heavy, crossbow light. I think I'm okay with these. Or would I want to rather list them out in the spreadsheet as heavy crossbow, light crossbow, so they're not all the same. Hand crossbow. I think I'm okay like this. But now, then, I'm also going to want to be able to do something like this, though. Hand crossbow, heavy crossbow, like this, and light crossbow like that. Okay, is the parsing going to work if it's not the right case? Are we going to run into problems there?
It's a good question.
I think we might. And now I suddenly feel like I have a compelling reason to not go forward. Let's do a test with this if we can.
Enum.parse has an ignore case parameter.
Sweet! Okay. The world is just screaming at me to do it right. Have you noticed, Rory? It's screaming.
And there's some strong hints being laid in reality here for you.
Yeah, I want to be able to support these, so I'm just going to take comment these out right here. And can I? So I need to now come back with this. Whoops, this, and then the parsers. This is going to be the string here, right here. Oh, some serious stuff is going on here. So true, like that. And so that's going to get me back.
For those of you who just lost your drones, feel free to bring them out again. I was just clearing the screen so that Mark's drone wasn't in the way of the code.
Oh, okay. All right, I gotcha. Can we make this a generic method right here? Can I extract this? Hold on. Let's do create a declare a local on this right here. And can I extract this and make it generic? Wouldn't that be like super awesome?
I have to wonder if there isn't a generic form of that already. Like if there's an enum parse of t.
All right, hold on. Let's try this. Extract method, get weapons of, I just want to do this. I want to do that and then make this be T. And I think it's, or is it like this? Is that what I do? Where T is enum? Wait, what's happening in here? Hold on a second. Let's just see. Let's just come in here and say T and T. And is that it? And so we'll change this from get weapons to get enum element. Okay. I like that a little bit better. Get maybe just enum. We'll just call it get element. Get element like that. Where T is an enum. Let's see if we can do that. T. I can't do is enum. Can I do that or not? Is that going to work? Where T colon enum, I think is what I do. Is the syntax. All right. Holy cow. Did we just figure that out? Just by using...
Hey, Studio is not complaining, so I'm going to go with sure.
Okay, awesome. Now, I'm trimming. So in here, I'm going to trim. So let's do this. This is going to be a element name, like that. And I'm going to trim it, and I'm going to replace spaces with empty. Or maybe just get rid of... can I remove a... the remove is not what I want. I thought there was I guess there's a replace is what I do. Replace... And old char, is there one with, how do I remove values? Is there a delete? No. I want to say it's replace, but, oh wait, is there a string version? There's a string version. Okay, cool. So we're going to replace any spaces with empty string, like that. That's what we're going to do.
Yep.
And so we're going to parse that, return that. That could potentially throw an exception with bad data. And I'm not sure how to get a default element back. Like, I'm not sure, should I pass a second one in here, like this, weapons.done?
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
I think a default is a valid thing because you won't know what the default is for any specific, unless you take the view that this is always going to be for an enumeration that's to be treated as flags, and therefore the return value is 0 in the case you can't define it.
Yeah, it's not, though, is the answer to that question here. And so I think we're looking at, am I really going to do that? Although...
I mean, that's certainly not bad.
I could also do default of T2. But I'm not...
Default of T where T is an enum is always going to be 0, right?
Yeah, well, I'm not sure if I've got none at the very beginning of all of these. I'd have to make sure all of my enums had none as the very first.
But aren't enumerations just syntactic sugar over an integer anyway?
Yes, but what I'm saying is, what if I had something important in the 0 spot in the very first one, is I guess what I'm asking. Yeah, I don't know. I guess we could do that. Let's play with default of T for now and see what happens. Okay, we'll do that. All right, we'll say, so there it is. Weapons is equal to that. And It sounds like it's going to handle everything for us. So, and then the only cases I want to do, the special case I want to do are these right here, because I want to be able to support those as well. But I think I'm not going to write that code now. All right, let's comment all this out, and let's just simply return this. Okay, and there.
So there's a little discussion going on in the chat room as to whether it throws or not. It does appear to throw, and yes, there is a try parse option if that is desirable.
Oh, sweet. Yeah, let's totally do that instead. Also, I don't need 2 single weapon anymore. This is all going to go crazy. It's all going to go crazy in terms of how it cleans up here. So
this is great because we get to delete a whole bunch of code, which means we no longer have to maintain that code.
Yep. Or look at it even, not that I'm like, angry with my code or anything like that. Okay, so now what I want is a try parse instead here. What do we got? Try parse. All right, sweet. And what's the syntax? Out the enum. Wait, try parse value, ignore case, and out t-enum results. So the type we're not passing the type anymore because the out is going to get that for us. Out t result. Like that. So sweet, this is sweet, sweet, sweet. I love this better than a try catch because we're reading data. So
it should also be more performant as well, because as I understand it, although throwing an exception is not particularly an issue, catching one when you do it a lot can be.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so let's see here. Try parse. What's my problem with try parse here? What is it? T must be a non-nullable value type.
Well, it is in our case.
I don't even get why this isn't working. We've clearly declared it as that. Right? T is an enum. I'm not even getting this at all. Out T enum. Is T enum something else or no? That's just what they declared it as. Yeah. In fact, we could do the same thing here. We could rename our T to T enum. Well, let's look at the declaration for try parse. See what they're doing. Where T enum is a struct. They're saying it's a struct.
Okay, but inferably an enum is a struct, so we're already meeting that criteria, right?
And then now it makes it happy. All right, so interesting.
Okay.
So we weren't an enum, we're a struct. I feel like we're learning. Does that feel like we're learning stuff here, Rory, or no?
I feel like we're certainly achieving stuff. This is far more elegant than what we had.
Not learning, but achieving. All right, I'll take it. All right, so here we go. Here's our new code. All right, I like that. Let's come in here and let's do this. 2 weapon. And guess where I'm going, kids? I'm going.
Spreadsheet?
No, not spreadsheet. I'm going to my tests.
Oh, we're being proper programmers today.
Yes, every day we do
Excellent.
this. Every day. So we're going to call this one weapons test. By the way, if you do, I just typed in the letter T inside of a test file, and CodeRushed is like, I know what you want, test class. I'm going to move type to file over here. And so our weapons test, we're going to say test weapon conversion. And we're going to come down here and we're going to say, let's say we want to say R equal. And we're going to say weapons dot. Am I missing? I think I'm missing a using up here. The D&D core, there we go. So we're going to grab, I don't know, none. And we're going to say D&D utils dot to weapon. And we're going to pass in yo, 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 yo. like that. So we're expecting it's just going to come back as weapons.none. Right? Good with that?
That sounds good. Yeah.
Next one, let's come down here and we're going to say, I don't know, let's go get the battle axe. And we're going to come in here and say battle, and I'm going to do this with the case. And we're going to go crazy there. Let's go in. We've got blowgun. Sure, why not? And I'll say all lowercase blowgun. And then we're going to come down here and we're going to say, let's do crossbow hand or dot crossbow heavy or weapons dot crossbow light. And let me just take those three, and we are going to separate those by commas, like that. Put a space in there, comma like that. Heavy. In fact, I might want to, let's do that. Let's just do that for now, and let's duplicate that. And what I want to do over here on this one is I want to now change it to the other way of referencing it. So heavy crossbow, like that, hand crossbow, and light crossbow. I'm always
Maybe
happy when
scroll just a little bit, Mark. We're having difficulty seeing that just behind your image.
Oh, sure. Thanks. Let's just do that.
There we go.
That's because you're awesome, Roy. All right. So let's just see what happens if we just run this test case here. So let's go.
That all looks good. I reckon we're going to pass like first time because the code was written pretty well.
The bottom one shouldn't pass. I'm expecting the bottom one to fail. What do I got here? 2 single weapon. We're not using this anymore. We're gone. 2 weapon proficiency. 2 weapon, I think, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep, there it is. Weapon proficiency, let's declare that.
That reminds me, you've got a test value in your spreadsheet itself, which is all. I.e., it has to translate that phrase to the amalgamation of all of the weapons for the case you suggested where a fighter is proficient in all weapons.
That's right. Thank you so much for that. We definitely have to do that. That's tricky. Also, character here needs to be kept in sync with character in the overlays over here. So we need to go find character.ts, and we need to go... here we go. The cool thing is there's a lot of complexity to the D&D rule set, but I feel like we are grappling that complexity. And so I'm feeling pretty good about that. So we basically need to do the same thing here where we are, we got the weapons. We got to bring the weapons across. And where did I put that? Weapon proficiency. I'm not seeing it in here. Did I not declare it? I thought I did. Oh, wait. Oh, it's here. It just wasn't up at the top. Okay. So it's weapon proficiency of type weapons. All right. So then we need this here, like that, equals weapons.none. And let's go grab weapons and bring it across. Let's see if this comes across. I'm feeling we might have a problem. I think the JavaScript is going to won't have a problem with the big numbers. And I won't have to do this. And I won't have to do that. And I think it might work. What's JavaScript say? Any problems? It says no problems. I'm happy with all of that. Cool. So there's my weapons. Weapon proficiency is there. Now I want to go through and just add the transfer, the copy attributes code. So I'm just doing tab to next reference here. See where conditions was used. It's only used there. And I had just added the line for weapon proficiency. So now we've taken care of the code we need to keep things in sync because we're sending character data down into JavaScript from C#. So we essentially have to redeclare the classes. Okay, with that, we should be able to run our weapons test now. Let's see if we can run our weapons test. And we don't forget we have to support all, Rory, because that's a common thing for fighters. Fighters are proficient in all weapons. We should fail on 34. I'm hoping we'll succeed on 30 through 30, lines 30 through 33. But 34 has got the spaces and everything flipped around. I haven't done that yet. Yeah, it failed on that line. Sweet. The fact that these pass, though, these 3 lines above indicates that that code is totally working, which means we are going to totally clean up this code here right now. We've got this awesome get element function here, which does this super sweet smart stuff. And let's start looking through the code here for opportunities to refactor. Here we go. 2 damage. Wait. Acid bludgeoning is the same all the way. I just want to make sure the text on the left is matching that on the right. And the answer is it is. It's case insensitive. So now I'm going to come in here and I'm going to say, well, let's first check that. Do we have 2 damage in any of our test cases? Because if not, I want to add some test cases. We don't. Let's add some test cases here. So let's come back over here again. Test case, we're going to call this our damage conversion tests. And we'll say test damage conversion. And then we're going to come down here, assert equal, and our expected value is going to be damage dot, damage, is it damage type? There it is, dot, do I got fire? There we go, fire. And then we're going to say D&D utils.
2 damage.
2 damage. And we're going to pass in fire, like that. And then we can do that. Let's come down here and we're going to change fire to force. And let's just get a couple of these in here. Lightning. And necrotic. Oh, look at this. CodeRushed is like, I got you.
CodeRushed has got you.
I can help you with test cases.
I really love it when that happens.
You need test cases? Okay. It looks like, I don't know. I'm not sure what happened here, but we got to condition twice. There's acid. What's after acid? Bludgeoning. And cold. And there's circle back around to fire.
Back to fire.
Okay. Let's run this. Let's move this over to its own.
So this with our existing code prior to a refactoring to use the new code, just to ensure that things are working the way they should be.
Exactly, right. Now, by the way, when I extract class, this is actually kind of a CodeRushed issue technically. Move type to file. I guess I gotta go report a CodeRushed issue here is what I gotta do. It's a minor issue here, but I'll explain it to you and show you what's going on here. Let's get the issue in here. This is going to be, I'm going to roll back the clock 30 seconds so people can see what just happened, so devs can see it. Not send out to all devs. And this is going to be move test type to file. Like that. There's the issue. I've just reported it. My overlays are working. Is that? Yeah. So you should get an email on this, Rory, and I should get one too. All right. So here's the issue. I just did move type to file on my test class, and I'm expecting my test methods to have the icon. No, it's not there, and it's been like 30 seconds to a minute since I did that. CodeRushed is not finding these. When I do a move type to file, I want it to immediately be scanned if it's a test class and immediately get those test class icons for me. Because the workaround is this right now. I have to come in, add a line, make a change, and then wait a second, and then there it is right there. So that's the bug. That's what I want you guys to fix. Make it so that when I extract the class, move type to file, immediately these things are up or within a second. Okay? All right. So now let's come in here. Let's run this test case. And these should all pass. Don't you love it when you can use duplicate line to to create code like this.
Brilliant, because almost inevitably the stuff you're trying to cycle through, like that enumeration there, they're conceptually related, so the human brain can see they're all related, but you have to type such different things for each one of them.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And therefore that's an awful lot of effort that we've removed there. Shift enter, shift enter, shift enter. Oh look, this is really working really well. It's done.
Yeah, I get a little giddy. Let's do one more. Let's do none. And we're going to come over here and we're going to say Scooby-Doo. Scooby-Doo, like that. And that should come back with a big fat none. I'm not going to run the test again, but I'm going because I'm going to go back in and we're going to now change to damage. Now that we've got all that passing, and we're going to say return get element like this of type damage type. This can use theory instead of all the inserts. The asserts theory. Are we talking
These are different. It's a different. Well, I don't know. Is this the more modern? Because using NUnit for your test framework, and more modern NUnit has different ways of asserting, of stating that things are or are not the case.
I'm not sure about that. I'm not up on XUnit has theory. I don't know what theory is. I think I don't know what theory is. Unless it's the ability to have, essentially you specify through attributes at the top the different tests you want to run. Not here, but in the test case, you do that.
It is worth pointing out that CodeRushed does play nicely with XUnit and NUnit and several other frameworks as well. Here, I believe we're using NUnit, which is why we've got test class and we've got assert. It's just one of the earlier ways of doing it. But in the chat here, Cobos Alpha is saying XUnit's got theory. And that is presumably their way of doing it. I'm not as familiar with that, but I do know that we support all the major frameworks.
Do I have a second thing already called damage tests? Shoot, I do. I want to move this and put this in that location. Hold on, let's go find that. Let's cut that, get my damage conversion test, delete that. Go out to damage tests. Sweet. Put this out here, and now let's run this test again. And I'm expecting this to pass. The other thing that's cool about this is the old conversion, the 2 damage conversion, didn't support comma separated elements in it. But I should be able to now gain that ability, right? So I could say, well, now I'm expecting to get damage acid or damage bludgeoning, and just by doing something like this, acid comma bludgeoning. And I'm expecting it to still pass. Let's try one more time. Let's run it. That 2 element is a game changer in terms of quality code. Oh, wait. This is, guess what, kids? We're going to send a bug over because this is a, hold on, let's send another CodeRushed issue. This is a big fat bug, and this is no test run. And I'm going to roll back the time I'm going to do a full minute and 30 seconds on this because devs who are listening now, I just cut and pasted this. I moved this from one location to another. And it might have something to do with the naming and CodeRushed not being able to find this. Restarting Visual Studio should get this to be found. But notice down the bottom, no test passed, none failed, and none were ignored. And I turned on an option. They had asked devs, was talking to the devs about this, I think last night or the night before. And they said, hey, Mark, I want you to turn on this option, which I did in the test runner, to show test filtering conditions in the output. So I've done that. There's that. I'm going to, whoops, I should have sent that out. Uh-oh. We got an exception. Was that because I did, what's my exception? Input string was not in the correct format. That's not good. So that means nothing is going out of here. Get active show point URL. 1 minute, 30 seconds. Wait, what's my input string was not in a correct format? input string where? That's the sad part, is now I don't know where it is in here. Let's step out of here. And let's go back in here and see if we can find it. Live show data. What do we got? All right, Roy, I'm thinking I need you to manually mark this time on this.
Yep, have done.
Sorry about that. Time marker. There's my problem right there. My show data, get time for span from string. I'm going to just, mark this one for real. Manually for me. But I'm going to, while I'm hunting this down here, right here, I'm coming back in one more time. I'm just going to run till we get to that line. What's my duration? 1 hour, 6 minutes, 25 seconds. Get time span from string. What's my rewind? Oh, that's in another one here. So let's see what's going on here. Time parse exact. 1 hour, 6 minutes, 25 seconds. Is this my problem? That's not my problem. It's in the subtract call. The rewind time span is, wait, my rewind time span is 0, but this is, hold on. Oh, because we're not, if it's lower watch, it's no. Index of the $, we're not, if we're expecting a $sign in the backtrack, did I delete that? Nope, it's there in the original text I sent out in the chat room. It's a minus $sign. Oh, I need to set a breakpoint earlier and take a look at what's going on with that, I think. Wait, oh, no, it's here. It's the get active show point URL it doesn't even have it. That's why we're not getting it. All right, let's go look at our subtract and see what's going on in here. Oh, no, because it's just, there's no, the subtract is not us, is it? Yeah.
That's a good point.
It's not us. So that's not us. So that's Visual Studio doing it.
Can we not do a subtraction of a 0 time span? Is there some kind of flaw in that?
Yeah, there's something going on there that's not happy for me. Okay, so we're back out there again. I don't know. I'm going to get out of here. What is... Whoa! I just popped out of it, and here it tells me the backtrack string has a $sign in it.
Yeah.
What just happened?
Can you go in again?
I'm like, what? I'm like stunned. Did we delete it? Oh, I know why. No, that wasn't the problem. We ran into two different problems. Here. See this? This line executed the first time when we got the problem, and then I did it the second time. That was not the problem. Okay.
Right, so because a re-entrancy issue that we caused, we altered the nature of what we were looking at.
Yeah. So hold on a second. So guess who doesn't like this code? I'm not going to change Mr. Announcer Bot because I've got some stuff out there from Legendary Moo that we need to. He's got to give me a pull request out there, and I don't want to make that job harder. But I got to do something. I got to pull the backtrack string into here, not change it. So we do, but now I'm at a loss in terms of what our exception was, what we saw there. At any rate, okay, so...
where's our current execution point? Maybe we can come back in here passing the original data. So we've popped back out of this just after the await, haven't we?
Yeah, we can do it, see what happens. I'll do it one more time. This is going to now send a... although I did do all devs, this is bug no test run. That was like a kind of really obnoxious report I was putting out there. All right, there's two things going on here. One is for any CodeRushed devs who are watching this segment of the stream, the problem was all before when we did the test run from here. This is the problem right here for that. I'm going to copy this to the clipboard and I'm going to give this to you, Rory, in our chat, and you are going to pass that on in your email to the devs or append it to it. Okay. So I think there's that, and I might need to get the logs too. I'm not sure about that, but if they need the logs, I'll get them later for them.
That's fine.
Okay, so that's issue 1. So we come in here, the test damage conversion. Now I just want to play with that a little bit. I want to get back to that issue over here. I want to come in and say, I'm going to try run test again. I'm expecting the exact same results where it doesn't find it. Yep, there it is right there. I'm going to change the name of it and see if that does anything, because they seem to indicate that they thought it had something to do with a naming issue with regards to it. And if this fails, I'll just have to restart. Yep, not found. And so to get here, this was another class. I moved it over into this class right here. So let's close down. We'll restart. See if that gets it for us. Thank you, Rory.
No problem.
I think I remember researching theory, and then I apparently have totally forgotten it. I feel like when XUnit had theory coming out, we added support for it in CodeRushed, and then I forgot all about it, is what I think happened. All right, so we've restarted Visual Studio. Syntax highlighting's coming in. We should see the test method icon showing up a little bit. Do I really have to hit enter in here to encourage this to be a little faster? Oh, there we go. All right, so now let's come in one more time. We'll run it. Now I can hear that echo off your walls, Roy.
That's the keyboard.
No, I know it's the keyboard, but I can hear the echo of the keys on the keyboard. I can't hear the echo of your voice, I think. Your voice is pretty good. All right, so that's passed.
That's because I've got such a soft, mellow voice, and the key strokes are so hard and vicious.
Yeah, I think that's true. You can totally hear their echo. All right, so that's cool. Let's go into where were we? We were in D&D Utils. What the heck? No, I'm not going to allow the installer to make changes this right now. It looks like CodeRushed just updated itself, and it tried to use the installer there. And I said the NGen installer, and I was like, no, not now. I'm in the middle of a show. All right. So the D&D app, I need to get over to D&D Utils, and we need to do more of this to skill display string. That we're going to keep to single ability. This stuff's all gone away. So now to ability, I think, do I have ability tests in here? There we go. Ability tests. Sweet. Look at that. Got some nice ability tests right there. See that?
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about. So let's go over and let's go drill into ability, and we're going to now remove all of this with simply return get element of type ability, and we're going to pass in ability string like that. And we're just going to kill all of this, and we're going to kill single ability like that, and see if that's going to work. And I think so far these all have none as the beginning one, so that's going to be all good for us when we do that default value back right in there. All right, so 2 ability is there, and what the heck? We've got this other one, 2 single skill. We've got these 2 skill checks as well that are out there. Not a lot, but we got a couple. What I really want to do is slide a hand and put some spaces in here. Right?
Yeah.
Sleight of hand. And we want to get animal handling as well. See, our advisor should be voice enabled with Roy as the voice.
Oh dear.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
I don't want to lose customers.
I don't think so, man. I think everybody's going to be, dude, you sound official. Animal handling. You sound, you bring a sense of, awesome wherever you go. All right, so there's animal handling.
That's just that crazy thing the Americans have with the British accent.
I know, isn't it? It's like you historically you've been our authority figure, right? So it makes sense to bow down to the awesomeness of the Brit. All right, so let's try running this test now using the old code. This should all pass. Okay, and now let's go a touch of class. Yeah, let's go over to back into the to skill, and let's change this one to return simply get element of skills and passing in skillster like that, and we can kill this.
This one-line method evaporates the 35-line method at a distance. Very nice.
Yeah, it's as if I'm getting my comeuppance every single show, isn't it? It's as if everybody's just like, shh.
Except you're handing yourself your comeuppance, so can it really count?
That's true.
It's just Miller 2.0, 3.0, it's getting better every time.
Yeah. To advantage. So this is going to look for advantage, disadvantage, or normal. I think we can kill this too. Do we have test cases for this? We better. We do. Cool. So there. Now, for this to work, normal's got to be the first one. It is. Good. So, all right. So let's go fix to advantage as well.
Mm-hmm.
And so we're going to come in here. We're going to say return get element of vantage kind. Like that, passing in, well, I'm going to say roll initiative for now, but we're going to rename this to the vantage stir. Like that. Get rid of this. Like, how sweet is this? It's pretty sweet. Look at that. We're down to how many lines of code? 155, and I'm sure we had a ton. I've got this thing going on here. We could probably clean this up a bit. This is we're getting a display string out of here. And I kind of need it because I want to put spaces in here. So we'd have to do some other stuff here, knowing that I want of to be lowercase, so,
yep.
But that's not, it's not bad. It's way better than before. Let's do this. Let's bring up the CodeRushed test runner. And let's run all our tests. I have had 52 now. Tests. I ran them all, I think 2 days ago, and there were 44 and they all passed. So we were good. Oh no. Oh no.
6. Not working.
Okay.
This is a great thing to do. I mean, it's all very well to have your inline tests, which in fairness are really good for making code as you go. But after you've done a batch of refactoring, of additions, of modifications, it's great to run your tests, get a summary of exactly where things are still working and where things aren't. And now very quickly we've been able to drill in and find out exactly what is not working.
Yeah. Yeah, it's awesome. So let's look at the test runner. This one, we knew about this one. We haven't fixed this one yet. So we have to fix that one. What else do we have in here? We've got player tests. This isn't good.
Null reference.
Ooh, lady. We can't get all players get lady.
Is lady no longer part of the test data for some reason?
Nope, she's there. But I changed. I'm sure we're getting an exception. I changed some data out there in the players, and I bet we're getting an exception earlier on, is what I think we're getting.
Well, you have also got a barrage of tests that fail to deal with the player shortcuts. I don't know if that's necessarily related, but...
I think we got a problem here. I think we're in here. This is where I think we are.
Okay.
So let's go into player tests and let's debug this test. Okay. Header with name weapon proficiency was not found. So
Did we download the file? Or did we just edit it in situ in Google Sheets and just not get a copy yet?
maybe I didn't download the file, or
It
maybe
was a
I
new
maybe I downloaded it only to one spot. Let's go look at that. That's in players, weapon proficiency, just added it. Yeah, I think maybe I didn't download it. And if I downloaded it, I didn't download it to the right spot. So here's test data. I've just now put it in the right spot for test data. Let's also download it and stick it in the actual data as well. Oh, did I just replace shortcuts? I think I replaced the wrong one.
I think you did. I was wondering.
Oh, good. I'm glad you were, because I was just.
I sat there being absolutely silent about the error, just in case it was entirely on purpose.
Okay, so I just did that. Let's go fix shortcuts. Whew. Okay, fix that as
This
well.
another advocate for keeping things in the cloud, right?
All right, there we go. Yeah, all right, exactly. All right, so there's that one, and then let's one more time download the shortcuts, just to be absolutely clear that we've got it in both places. There's shortcuts, save. All right. I want a faster way to do that, by the way, from here, where I just want it to be like, boom, and it's replacing the files. Okay, so let's, can we come back up here? Will it let us try one more time? Header with weapon name. I wonder if that's in the T. What is the T? Can we do this? It doesn't tell us what that T is right here. Let's look at our call stack. I just want to make sure that that we've declared it here locally. I think I remember doing it, but I just want to double check that's the case, because it could be it's the character DTO. Do I have weapon proficiency here? I do. So I do have it here. Let's stop the test run. And let's try the test run one more time with putting the new file, the new stuff out there. Let's try one more time. Debug the test. A button to log into that cloud and download the file instead of pull instead of push. That's Jonathan Delfraise.
I found a URL which allegedly will reach out to a doc ID and do an export. So if you can use some kind of an API to express this URL, then the return value should be the data.
I could just, the return value is. So I'd have to write a program to do that, because then I would need to get that return value and put it out in that the correct folder. Header with name weapon proficiency was not found. I don't get it. Can I look inside of here at all? Is there something in here like headers that I can see what it's grabbing? I guess I can look at the data too. The data file name is D&D core test data, D&D players CSV. I almost feel like we're either that we're dealing with a, yeah, okay, gotcha. Okay, let's go. Let's look at this. I almost feel like this either didn't work. Let's get on players like this. There's weapon proficiency. Do I have a spelling problem? I don't think so, because I'm pretty sure I copied that.
Yeah.
I think this is like a try one more time and it'll work kind of scenario. What's interesting is I didn't get an error when I went to download, when I went to replace the file, or it's a caching issue or something like that. So I'm on players. Let's just double check. Yeah, I'm on players. There's my test data. I'm saving it. Yes, I want to replace it. But this is off the Google Drive API. Cool. I'm going to take a look at that in a sec. Let's see. Let's try one more time.
Do
Yeah.
the terms in your T have to be in the same physical order as the columns in the file?
I'm pretty sure they do not. That would be a dumb CSV engine if that were the case, right? It's got something like 16 million downloads on it. Like, there'd be a lot of people upset about that. Whoa, did it pass now? Yeah. See, I noticed I didn't change anything, Rory. It was caching it, I think. It was like it had held on to it, even though I replaced it. It was like, yeah, I got it already. I'm just going to use the last one I just loaded. So all right, so those are good. So let's go back over here, test runner. One more time, let's run everything. And hopefully just one failing? Just the one. Test weapon conversion. Sweet.
Which is the one we expect.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so good. So now I just need to come in here and look at to weapon and support those three scenarios right there. And it's going to look, I think, something like this. Whoops. This is going to be...
So this is the one where individual items have got spaces in.
Oh, but we can't. This is really tricky. What I really want to do is this, because I can't handle the list. I've got to, parse the split into by commas, right, to be able to make this whole thing work. What I really want to do is I want to pass in an array of kind of a mapping dictionary in here, is what I want to do. I want to do something like this: a new dictionary of string indexed weapons is what I want to have. And so I'm going to do that because I just copied that to the clipboard. So it's like this. I think I want, we'll call this the map. And then I want to say, okay, map.add. And I want to say this is going to be heavy crossbow, like that. Mm-hmm. And then I want to pass in weapons dot heavy crossbow heavy, like that. Whoops. And semicolon. And then I want to make this light crossbow, like that. And we'll change this to crossbow light. By the way, I really want right now at this point, when I duplicate this line, this is like a feature request. I want at this point for CodeRushed to be like, I gotcha, I know what you're doing. I want it to actually do natural language processing of what's in the string.
Yep. And
versus what the pieces are that I've got over here. And I want it to generate that line of code.
That'd be nice.
We're just going to talk about this for now. You don't have to run the devs at this because devs hate it when I do stuff that's mind blowing. But because they're just like, oh God, the testing, right? It's crazy and huge. But I really kind of want that. I want it to. I feel like we're not far from this. So I want to do this, and then I want to pass in the map right here. So let's come in here. Let's not use CodeRushed to add the parameter. Let's just do this instead. I'm going to come down in here, and then I want to create a, pass in as a second one, a variable of type dictionary indexed by strings of what's on the clipboard, which is T in this case. And then we're going to say, call this the map. And I'm going to set it equal to 0 or to null. What you got? You don't need to map those. Just add them to the enum with the same values as the others. No, I don't think I can because I got spaces in the middle. Oh. Yeah, but then the enum's not as clean. And I only need the map rarely. And I like the clean enum. So yeah, that's actually a really interesting suggestion though. So you get what he's saying, Rory?
I think so.
Let's go grab the weapons here, enum. So he says, look, we're stripping out spaces anyway. Just come in here and call it hand crossbow and give it the same number 8.
Yeah.
Like that.
And as long as the values, as you said, because we're stripping out spaces, it works.
Yeah.
By the time it gets here, it will not have those spaces.
Is that my solution instead of doing a map? I'm now rethinking everything. This is going
It
to be.
depends. Are you going to need more complicated phrases? I mean, you've still got the list. I mean, there's the need for these exceptions, but they're still in code whichever way you do it. So maybe better to have it in the enumeration anyway, because it keeps things all together nicely, rather than an enumeration and a dictionary, sort of in two different places.
Yeah. I'm kind of feeling this. I'm starting to like this, Will. Okay. So yeah, let's undo the map, even though, holy cow, isn't everybody excited about C# when you can do that, though? Right? My dictionary of T, it was about to be, this was about to be awesome. But I think Will is totally right. So let's undo this. We're not going to add that there. We're backing up, we're backing up, we're backing up, and backing up. And so now we're just doing that. And I think it's a simpler solution. Let's go run all our tests again, verify that we're good. You could also build heavy crossbow from heavy and crossbow. Would that work? Wait, to pudding? What? I'm not sure. Are you suggesting having two different enums? Wait, did we fail? Oh, invalid expression in term. Okay, there we go. All right, one more time. Run everything. Wait, Will says it's a good suggestion.
So if crossbow had a specific numeric within the enum, and heavy had a specific numeric, but the sum total of that was the same value as heavy crossbow.
Yeah, no, I don't want to do that because I can't. I'd have to put a comma between them, I guess. Yeah, you have light, heavy. Yeah, not really. To pudding. I want to call you the pudding, but oh my gosh, can you imagine the pudding's fanfare? That would be so awesome. Just like some giant pudding, just like whoa. So let's look at the weapons over here. I really think, let's see. I have a heavy attribute and a light attribute. No, you're right. They do. They totally do. But it's not, I don't have like a light club and a heavy club. I just have a club and its attribute is light. It's really only with the crossbow that I have these three different versions of it. So
am I understanding correctly that the suggestion is that the heavy and the light would have their own place within the enumeration that is combinable in the right way? If that were the case, and you had a heavy crossbow and a light something else, how would you know what the heavy and light applied itself to?
To pudding says you can call me pudding. It's fine. Yeah, no, you're right. We wouldn't be able to do that, Rory. Because we'd have a list of things and heavy we couldn't do it because we want to have a list of these. I want to be able to have, for example, in my list, a heavy crossbow and a light crossbow. Did our tests all pass, by the way? No?
Did we rerun?
I did.
Got a light crossbow light. Got two lights.
That might be my problem. Let's try it now. Excuse me.
For those watching, we do tend to do this in a fairly visual way, interacting with the mouse, but all of this stuff is available with keystrokes. You can run Control-TF for the whole file, Control-TS for the solution, and TT for getting the test runner up all by itself. So it's not entirely a mouse-driven system at all.
Yeah. Rory is, he's awesome. Right, Fred? Is Rory awesome? Fred can't talk right now because we need to initialize some data.
I've not been giving Fred enough backhanded cash.
All right. So okay. So we've basically done a lot of refactoring that I had not planned to do, but we did it. But we've got all our tests passing. We've got this weapons enum. We now need to create a weapons kind of DTO, and we need to model it similar to what we're doing here in all players. So we kind of need something like this. We need to create a static class. So I'm going to use uppercase C for static. I'm going to call this all weapons, like this. Wait, do I need to do this? Yeah, I need to bring in all the weapons because we need to get all of the weapons that are out there. We need to create a class called the weapons DTO. And the weapons DTO has got to have basically all of these in it as fields. So I'm going to copy all of that, paste it in. let's see if I can do a, be smart about what I want to do here. I want to create a, let's create one string right here. Let's just do it for name only. And see what we're looking at here so I don't forget everything. All right, so we need to basically get look, so regular expression, search and replace. So we're going to do Control H. We are going to look for, now we're getting better at this, aren't we, Rory? Look at this out. So we're going to say,
search for a word.
The word, and that means a word character. So a plus,
word character.
Right, like that. Put it in parentheses.
Capture that.
Yeah, that's going to be group 1. So we're looking for a word.
$1 in the output expression.
And we're going to replace it with public space, then $1. Is that what we do, Rory? Like that?
Yeah, I think so.
And
now,
then
we had a terminator problem last time.
And then a /n. And we've got regular expressions turned on. So now if I just, oops, I want to select this to get the selection. So don't do this through the whole document. Ooh, look, even though I got a selection, it's still suggesting current document. So let's change that to selection so we don't, because that would be nasty. And let's say replace all. Oh,
ta-da!
Like, I feel like today, for the first time, I've just become a programmer. For the first time,
Birkin should have specialist skills of regex.
Yeah. So now, look at that, kids. Sweet. Yeah. Maybe Rory's a mouse-driven system, suggests Will Bennett.
That's an interesting theory.
The Terminator problem will be back. No, it won't, because I solved it right there, kids. Yeah, you thought I was going to get my comeuppance, kids. You thought today was going to be the day. Today was not the day. Today is not the day. Well, it's still young. So there's my weapons DTO. Let's go move type to file. Or actually, I'm going to call this the weapon DTO. Let's move type to file. Let's do that. All right. CodeRushed has added that class to here. And now we want to do, we need a list of all weapons out there, all the weapon DTO. So we'll create a new list of what's on the clipboard like that. We'll call those the weapons. And we need inside there, we're going to call our load data. Our load data is going to look a little bit like this. So I'll just copy this. And actually, it's going to look a little bit like that too. And even we're going to have a get as well. So we're going to have some similarity there. Let's paste all that in. And let's just change all of these. And yeah. And this is going to be from weapons. And we're going to rename these. This is going to become weapons. Like that. And here we need to call weapon. Ooh, we got a class called weapon? What's that thing look like? Wow. This is something I built early on.
It's more of a weapon model, isn't it? This is for the XAML theory.
Well, but it is, it's in D&D core, and it has a long range and normal range. What's my weapons categories? What's going on over here? Ooh. This is where thought I was headed. Yeah, look at what I've done here. Crossbow hand, crossbow heavy. Look what I was doing. So this is like old code with a weapons category right there. Pyrocat says, is it bad? I don't even know what he's building. It's bad. It is so bad, Pyrocat. We're building, Roy, tell them what we're building while I figure out what to do with this old code.
Well, that's a great question. What are we building? Right. This, as you can tell, is a stream in which we code, and we're coding various things from the start. We've done various forms of animation. You can see some of them on the screen at the moment. And we are now supporting the idea that Mark's going to have a second stream in which he and some friends are going to play some live D&D. Now, of course, live D&D can be should we say a little arduous in some terms of some of the processes, some of the calculations and whatnot. So we're going to automate as much as possible. The Dungeon Master in this particular D&D session is going to have the singular easiest time of his life, at least with the regard of the playing D&D. So we have dice rolls. we have character sheets, we have statistics on all of the characters, we have special effects for weapons and for spells and for potions and for all manner of things. And all of this controlled by a WPF app, which the Dungeon Master will have in his possession, which will transfer information through the magical internets to the broadcast machine, which is going to basically use Signal to receive that and to put, as you can see at the moment, very similar effects on screen to show exactly what's happening. So we're going to have the people, the players, in various positions. We've got Mark and we've got Fred there, and we've got several other people who will interchange and become the dominant player for their turn, for their definition of what they wish to do. And the Dungeon Master basically is going to use this application in order to greatly assist him in his role as omnipresent deity, or whatever it is you choose to think of a Dungeon Master as.
Yeah, that's kind of it. That's kind of our deal. What's going on
so
here?
What's D&D? I suppose that's a good question. Dungeons and Dragons, fantasy roleplay, usually of the mind, sometimes with the aid of physical pieces and plays and what have you, but now with the aid of awesome technology.
All right, so check this. So check this out, Rory. While you were talking and telling everybody what we were doing, thank you for that, by the way. Rory is in the UK. He's that voice of awesome in the background that tells me what to do, keeps me from getting my comeuppance every single time, barely, just barely. Let's go take a look.
We got some close shaves.
Yeah, close shaves. Almost had my comeuppance a few episodes. Weapon categories. Let's go look into that. That's this. That's basically what the weapon is. Okay, I contend we don't need this anymore. I want to kill this is what I want to do. Let's see where it shows up. Uh-oh. Ooh, on the weapon. This is not good. That's up a high level in the XAML. I got to leave this for now. I can't kill it yet. That's going to take some refactoring to deal with that. Let's look at back in weapon again. I can't get rid of it, but I don't need it in weapon anymore, I think, because let's see. If I tap the next reference on weapon categories, I get nothing. So I'm going to comment this out for now. Weapon properties, if I tap the next reference on this, shows up here when we're building these, but that's it. Nobody is ever accessing that property outside of this either. So I'm going to comment these out. Weapon properties, by the way, is essentially just like, hey, is it ammunition, finesse, light, loading, range, reach, special, thrown? Well, hold on, actually. Let's go look at this for a second. Because I've got all of these here. Is it have ammo, right? That's one of the properties, ammunition, light, heavy, two-handed, martial, ranged, melee, finesse, reach, thrown, special, versatile. I think I've got all of these. Loading, I'm not sure I have loading as a property in here. Loading, oh, I do. But I didn't set it up. Let's add loading.
Well, whilst you do that, Mark, I'm afraid the time has come.
All right, buddy.
It is, I have to take my leave, but I will see you again tomorrow.
Take your leave, buddy. Yeah,
Same
see you
time?
tomorrow. We'll be here tomorrow, buddy. I'm going to keep going. We'll see how long this thing goes here. We're
Fantastic. Well, we're heading on a good direction now.
Yeah, we are.
This is really, really looking very nice.
Hey, thanks so much, Rory.
All right, mate. We'll
Appreciate
see
it.
you tomorrow.
No. All right, so we just added loading. I feel pretty good about that. I'm glad I did that. Let's bring this and move this over here. The only question I have is, do I want to keep these in an enum? Time for Rory to leave. Yeah, time for Rory to leave. Bye, Rory. That was Rory Becker, by the way, folks. We got a template to help us with this when Rory leaves. Time for Rory to leave, and it generates this in the code. No! Like that. So there's our goodbye, Rory. Genescu7 says the effects are good. Yeah, the effects are not bad. We're really getting there. I have got some cool ideas for spell effects. Maybe I'll work on them this weekend with the kids. But you've got this magic staff that kind of swings back and forth before you cast a spell. I'm also going to have my hands come up and with something in an orb, a glowing ball, this kind of thing going like this. I have this idea for the effect. I think it's going to look super flippin' cool. And so I'm likely to build something like that. Jonathan Delfres says the effects with the Fred are cool too. We don't have those up right now. We can get those as soon as we start running, and we can see that. But I think it's going to be a little bit to do that because I'm still, so I've got weapon properties. I think I'm going to maybe keep the properties is what I think I'm going to do. And I'm getting rid of weapon categories and actually, before I do that, I want to put a to-do note in weapon categories enum nearby it to do replace this with weapons enum everywhere and move over descriptions. So just a little to-do note for me right here. So we can do that at some point in time. Okay, now I'm going to delete that. What's attack type? Set melee, martial melee, range, spell, area. Okay, that's when you do a specific kind of attack. The weapon can, so some weapons can be used in different ways. So I'm not sure attack type is useful for us anymore. Let's see what's going on here. Used anywhere else? It's not. Let's kill it. So we're going to kill weapon type. Now one effect is on. Genesco 7 says, Frackberg says, morning. Frackberg, welcome. Welcome back. I'm so glad you're here with us. I want you to show up again so I know you're coming back, and then I'm going to build you we'll have a Frackberg fanfare here coming up sometime in the future. All right, so weapon type, not used anywhere else. We've got the normal range and the long range. What's going on with long range? Only used there. So I'm going to, do I want to call this long range? I think I want to call this the disadvantage range. Disadvantage range. So if you can fire your blowgun within 100 feet, and but you have disadvantage on the roll. And if you fire it at a target within 25 feet, it's a normal roll. So it just gives you much harder to hit. Frackberg disappears, never to be seen or heard from again. Frackberg, come on! I want to build one. I want to build I want to figure out what it's going to be and build something. I was thinking well, I won't say what I was thinking, but Frackberg, if you want one and you have like a kind of a theme to it that you want, let me know. You might inspire something there. But my thoughts are it's going to be like a Titanic kind of themed with a iceberg coming, a giant iceberg coming onto screen, something along those lines. Frackberg, straight ahead, something like that. And then the Titanic sinks or blows up, just totally explodes. That's what I'm thinking. It'll be fine. Frackberg cannot go anywhere. Currently has 2 puppies. All right, good. So we're cleaning up weapon, which is a class I wrote like months ago, and we're about to make it more like weapon DTO. So we want to create a method in here. It's going to be a static method, so uppercase M. And it's going to return this type. So I do a / like that. So I'm just using CodeRushed to generate this code right here. And we're going to call it from, like that. And then we're going to have a variable of what's on the clipboard, weapon DTO coming in. So I just typed in V and the / to get that. And then we'll just call this weapon DTO. Got some cool music going here. We want to get this public. We're going to create a new weapon. That, declare local on that. I'm in Visual Studio, writing C# code, and then we need to populate the fields from here. So what do we got? Add a mantine? We're inheriting this from above. I'm going to tap the Control key for options, hit the H key for hierarchy, and hit 0 to just come from here. So we really only have normal range and coming in right now, disadvantage range, and weapon properties that we need to fill out here. So its normal range is equal to weapon DTO dot I got a problem. I got to fix it. Let's go find get double. I got 2 get doubles. That's my problem. And I'm about to create a third. Get double here in wind up DTO. We're going to defer this over into D&D utils. No, math 2 utils. Math 2 utils, I think. Like that. That's where I'm going with this. I'm going to create a class, math utils, and do those, put those in there. Let's do that now. It's going to be a static class, math utils, and let's drop a marker here. Let's go find our get double again. Sweet! Did you guys see that? Oh my god, Dev's added something super cool. I'll show it to you in a second. Escape to come back. He just hit the jump button and it's got recent items down there. Look at that. Get double. I didn't have to go find that again. Let's come in here. We're going to make that public. In CodeRushed, I'm just holding Alt key down and then up and down arrow keys to cycle through the visibility. That sort of thing. So now I've got my math utils get doubled on both of those. Let's move that type to its own file. We're in the D&D core. And now let's go find, let's go do it again. Let's go find get double. We got any other get doubles out here? We got a get int. I think we got a couple get ints. Let's get int, get int, get int. Is that anywhere else? No, we should be able to delete that. Let's just cut that to the clipboard. Come over to math utils and compare the 2 different functions that we have to make sure they're exactly the same. I'm going to call those identical. Kind of a funky song. And then, so let's keep that marker there. Let's go look. There was another get int, I think, out there somewhere. In Mod Builder, up in D&D UI, where are we using that? Just in this one place? And we got to get double up here too. So let's go say math utils dot get int. And it has a default value right there that we're passing in there. We should add that to our math utils. I don't think it's in there yet. Let's go look at math utils. Oh, we do. We have a default value. Let's call it default value though. All right. All right, and we got the get double right here. Yeah, look at this code all over the place. Jump back. It's the only one place it is. All right, good. All right, better, better, better. All right, so now back over to weapon. Now we're going to say this is equal to math utils dot the normal range get int and weapons DTO dot range, like that. Okay. Then we're going to call this the disadvantage range, and that's going to come from our weapon DTO dot disadvantage range. Sweet. And then we're going to say weapon dot weapon properties is equal to get weapon properties. I think I missed a get int in there, says Will Bennett. And passing in weapon. DTO. I think. I missed a get in somewhere. Did I catch it? I'm not sure where. That was from a while back. Do you think I caught it? I think I caught it. Let's look for get int again. What do we got? Now it's showing me only one in math utils, so I think we got them all. Okay. Yes, Pyro Cat. I have been, well, not necessarily mistaken for Bryan Cranston, but I've totally dressed up like Bryan Cranston as in Breaking Bad for Halloween. Had the whole outfit. And I had hard rock blue candy that I'd broken up to look like the crystal meth. And I encountered a police officer on Halloween night dressed up like this. And I suggested the police officer could try a free sample of my hard rock candy, which looked like the blue crystal meth from the show. And the police officer, instead of arresting me, said, "Oh no," like that, and drove away. Anyway, that was it. That was me. I was approaching the police officer. Not recommended in all neighborhoods. Depending on what's going on with your local police officers, that could be an incredibly high risk move. By the way, not the only time. I've actually had police officers. Another time I had police officers. Two of them pointing guns at my head. That's happened to me before. Yeah. No, they did not pull the triggers, by the way. They were, it was a case of mistaken threat, I think. And there was a time when I was going through airport security where I had like 4 or 5 airport security guards all reaching for their weapon at the same time. So that's happened. So, I don't know. I like to play. Live PD films in my town. I really don't want to end up on that show. Yeah, it's like, I think you can kind of get a sense of, what kind of person you are is if you're presented with the knowledge that you're about to be on like live PD or a cop show, whether you're enthusiastic about it or you're nervous, right? We're about to be on the show. So, we got a raid coming in here. Nick Larson's raiding with 25 people. Holy cow, Nick Larson. Defend against those kids. Holy cow, kids. Uh-oh. Frackbird said a while back the puppy moved and they woke up 4-pound beast of terror. Not good. Let's declare this get weapon properties here. Fred should be your raid defense. Well, I can't really run because I'm not running here. I got to get some code compiling and then we can get Fred up here. I can kind of just show Fred here. If you want, kids, there's Fred right there. He's just chilling right now. Thanks, Clarkio. You raided me a minute before I had to bail. Got to run to a meeting. Have fun, all. Hey, thanks, Nick. I really appreciate it. What'd you guys work on over there with Nick? What was going on over there? I presume he took care of you? Nick's got to go to a meeting. We were just writing code, kids, today. We are working on a Dungeons & Dragons app. It includes special effects, special visual effects that are going to happen for a live Dungeons & Dragons stream. I got to stop typing this in by hand here, but for whatever reason, I haven't done it yet, but I'll type it in here for you. That is the link to the show. The show has not aired yet, but you can go follow that if you want. It's live Dungeons and Dragons. The intention is for it to be funny, and we'll see if that ends up. We'll see if that ends up happening. All right. Here we go. Let's go in and declare this get weapon properties. Kind of working our way through getting the weapons DTO. The DTO is coming from each entry in here in the CSV file. So we're just grabbing the Dungeons & Dragons weapon definition, bringing it down into here, getting the weapons properties. So right now the weapons properties are coming from these elements here, these Booleans, and we're going to transfer them over into this enum. So we're going to check each one of those in this function that we're about to build right now. So we're going to do that. And I think the code's going to look something like this. If weapon DTO dot ammo, then we're going to say, well, we need to get a new result. So in CodeRushed, we need a result. We can type in RI here, and it can give us that code right there, like that. And then we can initialize this to like when properties dot none to start off with. And then if it's ammo, we're going to say it's equal to result or equals dot ammunition, like that. So that's what we're doing. And oh, we need something else here. We need an is checked. This one. We need that. Because if I'm putting an X in it, it's checked. Right here, so you can see. So this is what's going on there. I'm going to put this in my math utils, I think. That's what I think I'm going to do. Because binary is kind of like math. That's how I'm justifying it for right now. Oh, look at that. We did forget to get int right there. Okay, cool. And let's get rid of that. And we'll come back over here. We'll get that in a second. I see Pablo is now following. Thanks for the follow. So we've got the is checked right there. And I think that's all we need. We're good there. And let's make sure we've got it here. Here. Okay. So yeah, we may have forgotten a call or two in there. We'll get that on the compile. Okay, so then we're going to say mathutils dot is checked of weapon dot ammo, because that's coming in as a string. And the reason I did that is because if I declare this as a Boolean type, then I have to specify true and false all the way down, and it just gets so visually heavy, visually noisy. And instead, I can just have a single small checkbox, so single small X centered in the middle of the column. So as a maintainer of the data, I can look at it and the data stands out what it really is. Okay, so all right, so we've got that bit of code right there. Now I'm going to duplicate this a couple times, but I'm going to use CodeRushed to mark that and to mark that. Then I'm going to select those and copy that. Then I'm going to paste it. And now I'm going to change ammo to finesse. That's the next one. And then I'm going to get finesse here. Sweet. Then we come down and paste again. And after finesse, I'm going to go to heavy. And this is going to be heavy as well. We're just kind of doing this map all the way down. And I'm going to paste. And then I'm going to go to light. And go to light here as well. Then I'm going to paste. And you know what I really should have done? I think if I do it this way, if they're both the same when I start, CodeRushed is like, I got you. Let's try that. I'm going to copy that. Okay, let's copy to there. And then I'm going to paste. And now if I change one, I change both. Cool. Marshall? What's this one? Oh, I don't have a Marshall. Well, I'm going to add it. What? Hold on. Generate enum member. That's the one I want down there. Okay. So there's that. Come down here and paste again. After Marshall, I've got melee. What? I don't have melee either? Let's add that. Okay. After melee, what do I got? Ranged? Really? I don't have ranged? Look at this. Sweet. I don't know if that's CodeRushed or Visual Studio, but whoever's figuring that out, that we need to double those, that's great coding. All right, let's hit escape, come back over here. We'll add ranged. Wait, was there a ranged one that I'm not? Oh, it's range. I'm just going to rename this to ranged. And is there melee in here or not? No, melee wasn't in there. Okay. All right. Down here, after ranged, comes reach. Paste. After reach comes special. And after special comes thrown. Paste. Are we done? Nope. Two-handed. And then versatile is the last one. Okay, cool. Sweet. And now let's keep going. And let's add a few more elements to here. Weapon dot, I don't know. There's something here. I don't know what it's going to be yet. Is equal to weapon DTO dot, what else are we not using? Cost. So we'll call this cost right here. Ooh, we have a cost value. Sweet. And then we want to do math utils dot get int, get double. I really want to get gold pieces. Like that. That passes in this. Like that. And then converts from this or that silver pieces or even copper pieces into gold. Wow. Totally off topic in terms of what I wanted to do. Let's write some test cases that fail, so at least we know that we need to come do this. Whoops, I want to do a letter T here to create a test class. We're going to call this our currency tests, and we're going to test currency conversion. Like that. And then we're going to do an R equals, and then we're going to say, I don't know, 1. And then we're going to say D&D, no, math utils. Should it be in D&D utils? Get gold pieces? Yeah, that should be over in D&D utils instead. Hold on. Move your head, Fred. Here, we'll just switch over to this view over here. There's Fred. He's gone. You're not transparent. Include if, condition, enum value. Wait, what's include if? What is include if? Is that a C# thing as well, or no? I'm saying you can create a function Wait, what is it? I don't understand what it does, though. Is this what we're talking about or no? I'm not sure if that's your suggestion or not, Will. Okay, here we go. D&D utils. Let's paste that in. Put down on the repetition. I'm not sure what repetition you're referring to, though. All right, so I want to do this. 1 GP is equal to 1 coming back. I want to change this to D&D utils. And that's going to return a double, right? Yeah, it is. Okay. Let's just quickly get a couple test pieces in here. All right, here we go. So, in terms of gold pieces, copper is 1/100th, so it's like a penny. So then we're going to come in here, we're going to say, I can do 1 divided by 100. 1/100th is 1 CP. And then silver is 1/10, like that. So that's going to be 1 silver piece. And electrum, 1/2 is 1 EP. I'm assuming for electrum. Yep, there it is. And platinum, it's going to be 10 now, and for 1 platinum piece, right? All right, cool. So those are our test currency conversions. We expect those all to fail right now. Let's move the currency tests to their own file. This is the thing that if I do this, it won't find my test cases. I think I'm going to have to restart. It's that bug we saw earlier. Yeah, where the test cases are not found. What happens if I do this and do that? We'll find them then. Oh, cool. Can I run it? Oh. Will's suggestion about doing a lot of if condition result, the function would make it more succinct. I need an example of what that function would look like. All right, we're still in the middle of broken code, so we can't test that. So let's... let's bring this up. Got code all over the place we're making changes to here. Data, weapon DTO, we want that back here. Boom, boom, grabbing the weapon DTO. These good names. Copy this code from another place. Weapon DTO. This should be of type weapon here. All right, all of that's better. Name is inaccessible due to its protection level. Can't navigate to it, really? Do I have another, do I have a name? Oh, there we go. Okay, that's gonna get me my weapon out of there. Oops, sorry, didn't change that. Okay. All right, that looks good. Let's move all weapons to its own file. And let's get back over to weapon. Finish this piece up here. So we got getting gold pieces. The cost value. It's a double. What does it not like here? Oh, I moved it over to D&D details. Okay, cool. All right, so there's that. By the way, we got a return weapon out of the end of this whole thing. What else do we have here? We have... so let's look at every single piece we're bringing in. Damage. So we need to solve the damage problem here. And get int damage. And so then we're going to call this damage. I think we're going to have to say one-handed. Like that. I don't want it to be a field. I mean, I don't want it to be a... Let's do it again. Got some serious... Oh, it's not letting me declare it as a field? That's really weird. Let's just do it here. And let's, whoops. Two-handed. Duplicate this. All right. So we've got those two pieces. What else is inside weapon DTO? We got the disadvantage range and the normal range. Damage. We got that. Fitness. Finesse. Heavy, light, martial. Property description. Let's get the name. All right. May have to do some magic with enums as a type. I created functions like that before. Don't remember if I had to do anything special to hook up the pipe symbol. May need where a where struct constraint or just cast to in64 or in64 long new long. Yeah, that's referring to the suggestion above. Yeah, I'm going to call that suggestion like sufficiently mind-blowing to my state of mind right now that I'm like going to be I don't want to try to pursue that right now because I think you're going to just render me like unconscious at the end of that even if we get it to work, and I won't be able to continue doing anything else. So I'm going to say, let's put that on the table for the next time when I'm better. A better version of me would be to say yes to that, and I'm going to say no to that right now, just because I'm like, I'm going to be distracted by it, and I want to stay focused on this. So basically, Will is suggesting cleaning this code up here, because basically I'm mapping a property called heavy to another enum element named heavy, and the code's essentially the same all the way down. And so that was what he's suggesting, is cleaning that up. So I've got the name out here for the DTO. What other things we have? The property description. Ooh, this is not really the description of the weapon. It's not. I'm not going to do that. Okay, what else do we have? Range, ranged, reach, special, thrown, two-handed, versatile, weight. We got everything. There's the weapon. All right, sweet. So we've got the weapon coming back. And let's save the file out, because I don't think we've done that yet. Download. Comma separated. D&D Weapons. I'm in the test data folder, so I'll save it here, but I'll also put it in the regular data folder as well. Oops. Why did it come out as a 1? I know why, but I didn't want it to do that. Okay. That's what I'm going to call it. D&D Weapons. So now we'll be able to load that weapon data up and get some data. Which means if all this compiles, let's see if we build now. The progress bar is like right over here. Rebuild all succeeded. Okay, let's add some test cases for this. Create a new test class. Whoops. We're going to call this, oh wait, do I already have a weapon tests? I do. Let's undo all this. Let's go to weapons tests. Let's create a new test. And we're going to say, it's going to be test all weapons. And this is going to be similar to some test code I've got on all players. I see, it's just something like this. Okay. So we're going to say all weapons dot get, and we're going to give it a weapon name. And I think we also want to say folders using test data is equal to true, right there. And so we're going to get one of these weapons, and we're going to test some properties on it. So let's grab a greatsword. So we're going to get that weapon. And then we're going to say assert equal weapon properties dot. So the greatsword weapon properties are, it has heavy, two-handed, martial, and melee. And we're going to go to the, what is it, weapon properties, like that. So like that's a pretty simple test right here that we get to this point, because that's going to show us that we actually found the greatsword and we got some of its properties in here. Let's also check its damage. Damage two-handed is equal, assert equal, and our expected value is going to be 2d6 slashing. And that the damage one-handed is going to be empty. I think, or no? What's it going to be? Oh wait, what am I doing? Oh, okay, so I had some code that was wrong up here. I was assuming this was going to be... Yeah, we need to do a string here for both of these. All right, and then we're going to clean both of these up. Right there. Okay. So let's run this. See what happens. All right. That passed. Sweet. Let's do the test run. Let's run all our tests. Currency test for failing. That's the only one. Almost feel like I should fix that now. Let's get in there and do that. Doesn't look like it's going to be too hard to do that. So we need to get the currency, which means we need an enum for that. Currency, like this. And we're going to say gold pieces, I think. Copper pieces, silver pieces, platinum pieces, gold, silver, and electrum. And I think that's maybe it. Maybe adding none to the beginning of this as well, like that. And let's do this. Coster is equal to cost.toLower. Then we're going to trim it as well. So we'll get rid of any leading and trailing white space on it. Then we're going to say if coster.ends with GP, then I have an idea. And my idea is to put the multiplier. Can we do that or no? If I put it in terms of platinum, I can do it. So copper would be 1,000. Gold would be 10. Silver would be 100. Platinum would be 1. And electrum would be 20. Like this. That's kind of cool. And so then we can use both the currency and its value. Okay, so there's the string coming in there. We've got the cost string. We're trimming it out. If it ends with gold pieces, then we're going to say our we'll say the currency is equal to gold. And then I want to do the same kind of trick I was doing before. Take that, copy it to the clipboard, come down and paste. If it ends with EP, then it's going to be in electrum pieces. And if it ends in SP, it's going to be silver pieces. And if it ends in CP, it's going to be copper piece. And I think I got them all. Copper, electrum, silver, oh, platinum. We didn't get platinum. And if it ends in PP, it's a platinum piece. Okay? So there's the currency there. Get some else's in here just to make the code a little more efficient. And then we want to come down here and we say, hey, look, if currency equals currency dot none, in other words, we haven't found it, I'm going to set it equal to currency dot gold pieces. Or, yeah, I'm going to do that. Like that. So we're just going to fix that. So we're there. Then we want to do, we want to get the number. Don't I have something to like get first int? Ooh, I put that in my string extensions. And get first double. Sweet. Okay, cool. So now what I can do is this, is I can say, okay, look, coster, I don't even have to do anything really fancy. I just come into coster, since it's a string, I can come and use that extension, get first double, so it's going to grab the first double in there. I'm going to put this back in here, and then we're going to say, so that's my first double. And then we're going to multiply it by, and then we're going to say platinum pieces is equal to first double times currency, and we want to typecast as an int. So this is a great CodeRushed template. If you have CodeRushed, just CI like that, and it'll give me int in parens, or CD will give me a double in parens, or C whatever type, and it'll give you that in parens. So in fact, actually, I wanted to type in CD here, right here, CD, like that. I'll do that because I want the end result to be a double. And so there's my platinum pieces, and then I want to go to, I want to say return D&D utils. I want to make another call here to a function that doesn't exist yet. Dot platinum pieces to gold pieces. Like that. Let's declare that. And to go from a platinum piece to a gold piece, we're just going to say return platinum pieces times 10. Like that. Since first double is a double, you shouldn't need the typecast here. Well, I need the typecast because currency is in enum. I need to get it to something, either a double or an int. Because if I don't have the typecast, I think I get that. That's my problem, is because currency is in enum. So, and here's the thing. I could do this as an int and I'd get the same result right there. That would also work. But I decided to change it to a double so that, and keep it there, because I was like, I kind of like it explicitly saying I'm getting a double out of the whole time. It wasn't doing that for me, Will. I was getting underlines if I did that. Yeah, it's basically type protection is, that would work in JavaScript. Coding codes, I hate I'm missing so much good code. Listening and lurking during calls and stack of work today. Can't believe work is interrupting my streams. Yeah, so rude. So rude. Actually, my day is like open. I'm like, I'm going to do this until I'm like super hungry and, got to take a break. This is from before, I think. Okay, let's go to currency tests. Let's try running this again. See if we get any better. Did we finish it? Everything compiling? I think it is. Failed. Wow. We failed from number 1? Right off the bat? All right, let's set a breakpoint. See what's wrong in our code here. Let's debug it. They changed how it works to make you wrong. Misremembered how that works. Okay. You should have put on your superhero suit and stated, "There's code in danger, I must go save it." And promptly left work. Yeah. All right, here we go. Let's drill inside this, see what's going on here. Ends with it, yes. Currency is gold pieces. First double is 1. So first double in platinum pieces, here's my problem. Gold pieces is 10. The value of gold pieces is 10. It's not. It's divided by the currency, isn't it? I'm pretty sure it's this. Let's see what happens if we do that. And then we go to platinum pieces, getting a 1 back. There's it is. What? Expected 0? Wait, that's 0? Oh. Really? It's going to int land, and I want it to be in double space land. Okay, so let's try again. Let's see. Can we go here, or are we just out? There, that worked, and it worked. It all passed. Okay, so just a few changes there. Not too bad. All right, so that means all our tests should be passing right now. All right, good. 54 tests passing. Now, where we started the show, we said, here's where we're going to go, kids. This is what we want to do. We're about to do that now. We want to take, well, we're going to try. We want to take the damage from a battle axe or a great sword or whatever the weapon is, that damage. We want to take that. We want to take the character, get their level, and any other attributes that would affect the die roll, and calculate what the actual die roll is going to be when they make that swing for the respective shortcut. So earlier in the show, or at the beginning of the show, I showed I took all these dice rings out. I took them all out. And so we're going to try and calculate these, make sure they're correct. I got Wild Fred here, and you can see as an example over here right behind me, his great axe has a +6 to hit, and the damage is 1d12 plus 3. Okay, so we got to come up with that +6 from the Wild Fred character, and the +3, and the 1d12. So that's what we're going to try and do now. They won't when they see your quads. Wait, my neighbors would have thought I'm even stranger than they already do if I walked in my office in a superhero suit. Yeah, they won't when they see your quads. They'll be like, holy cow, that guy does not skip squat day. That's what's important, kids. Do not skip squat day. That's what I'm telling you. All right. So that's what our goal is. I got my notes over here. It says, look, my 2-hit modifiers, your proficiency, usually your proficiency bonus plus your ability modifier. I've seen examples where there's an additional 2-hit modifier piece that comes in. We'll take care of those exceptions in a bit. But usually it's your ability modifier, strength for melee, dexterity for range. If it's a finesse weapon, player gets to choose strength or dexterity as the ability modifier for the attack. Now, if you get to choose it, I'm going to actually write code that chooses the best one, because I don't know any player that would choose the worst one. That's like such a rare edge case condition to say I want to actually reduce my chances of a hit and reduce my damage. That's just something you don't want to do. So we're going to choose the best out of those two if it's a finesse. So that's what's going on with there. So now what we need to do, I think we need to run the app. I think we run the app. Let's run it. We're going to use edit and continue to write this next bit of code. but you want to take advantage of a bad player. Yeah, I don't know. Well, there's not really player versus player stuff really happening.
Love nuts.
All right. Let's refresh. Do I need to refresh these? I think theoretically I don't. Let's try some of the. Let's see if we can do a. Initialize player data. Let's see if Fred will do a thumbs up for me. Fred will not. So we're going to refresh. Whoops. Refresh the cache. Refresh the dice. Refresh the Dragon Back overlay. So all these are live stream elements that we're connecting with in Signal R for the special effects. Send the player data over. Clock is working. Let's switch to, well, let's first see if Fred will give us a thumbs up. Fred is not giving us thumbs up. Oh, there he is. He did it. All right, Fred's good. Cool. Let's switch over to Merkin. Wait, looks like I need to initialize player data. Let's try one more time. Lady.
Lady McLovenut.
And then back over to Merkin. There we go. Data's there now. And let's go into my actions. Let's bring up Chaos Bolt at level 3. There's the special effects. Let's roll the dice on that. Here come the attack roll. It's a miss, but killer damage. All right. So with, by the way, with Chaos Bolt, this is filling out correctly. When I change to here, it changes to a 2d6, and when I change to that at spell slot level 1, it's a 1d6. So that's all calculated correctly, which is some really hellaciously sweet code that did that. Next, we need to make it so Ava's stuff works. So we don't have anything for Lady. Lady doesn't have anything. Fred doesn't have anything. Fred's got a battle axe. When I click this I'm expecting to go blank. Yeah, so that's going blank, and we want to fix it. We want Fred's battle axe to work, and we want
Ava Wolfhard.
Ava's battle axe or greatsword or javelin, all of those things to work. We need those to work, so we need to figure that out. That's what we're going to do now. Fred is on his own schedule. That's what we're hearing about Fred. Don't rush Fred, because he's on his own schedule. Fred, are you on your own schedule, buddy? Okay. Freaking Fred, says Will Bennett. Frackberg, by the way. Frackberg, are you still with us? You lurking? Because if you are, I didn't check my list of everybody out there. I should do that. The pros, the pro streamers, they will go to the list first. Not me, not the pro. How do I find all my switch to non folks in here? I don't remember. It's another page I'm not on that I don't have up over here. My guess is Frackberg's not with us. He said that came from, oh, he is here. I'm Fred. That's so funny. Frackberg's here. You were saying that Frack was kind of a tribute to Battlestar Galactica. Is that right? I just want to double check that, if that's the case. Because I think they use that. Yes, it is. Okay. So if I build something for you, it's going to be Battlestar Galactica themed. That's what we'll do. Maybe an iceberg plus Battlestar Galactica stuff. Trying not to be too litigiously close to existing copyrighted material. Always have to just you want. This is the most fun way to go through life. You just barely get sued. You just barely. The police are pointing the guns at your head, but they're not pulling the trigger. That's the way to go through life. You do not want to be on the other side of that line. That's what we want to do. All right, so that's our goal. Let's go up. We want to go to our high-level class here. Up here in, it's in WPF. It's our Dungeon Master app. And I think I remember it. It's called Activate Shortcut is the name of it. Activate Shortcut. That's the function we want to be in. Okay. What do you care? You have Roy to bail you out. Yeah, well, I get bailed out all the time. There have been times in my life where I had like about 20 to 30 people all trying to save me from something that they really could have just let, they were in the middle of a thunderstorm, standing out in the rain. They had folks, sergeants yelling at them, all to save me, because you know me. I'm a mess. I'm a mess, kids. All right, so I'm going to put a breakpoint on Activate Shortcut. Activate Shortcut is what's fired when we click one of these buttons here. When I click one of these buttons, Activate Shortcut, and here you can see some of the effects coming in here. Right there. There's the greatsword. Oh, it's interesting. Look at this, though. The battle axe, what is happening? The main effect doesn't go, and then the ending goes and plays? That feels like something's broken. Why are we only seeing that ending? When we go to mine...
Merkin!
Oh, you know what I bet it is? I wonder if it's related... Hold on. Let's go... No, it wouldn't be related to the dice string being empty, would it? Maybe there's some code there that checks to see if the dice string is empty and does something special. Let's fix it so the dice string's not empty and see if it fixes this bug. So we have a bug here, right? If I'm choosing a spell, I get the spell effect correctly. In fact, Ava's got a couple spells. She's got Sanctuary. Sanctuary is cast around me, so that's looking good. Shield of Faith, I think, is also casting around me. So there's Shield of Faith. So Thunderous Smite. Wow, everything's cast around me. We got to fix that. That lasts, but this spell, by the way, lasts a minute in Dungeons and Dragons time. And if you're new to this show, or to the stream on this, when we enter combat, the clock to my right is going to stop when we enter combat. And there's initiative is rolled right there. Feels like that flame is a little bit too loud. And when we exit combat, oh, interesting. The effect looks like it stopped before we were supposed to get out of that. Okay, let's close the scroll. And let's figure out, I'm going to click on set a breakpoint here. And we're going to go click on the greatsword. +1. That's what I'm going to do. And now we're going to go down here. And we're going to, by the way, just out of curiosity, what's the greatsword listed as? It is greatsword, +1. Okay. So we're cruising down here. It's not a spell. And do we have any windups? We do. We're going to send those out. But also, if it's not a spell, it's a weapon. And if it's a weapon, here's where we want to add some code, I think. I'm going to get rid of that. I'm going to do this instead. And I'm going to say, we got to get the weapon name. So let's do this. Weapon name is equal to action shortcut dot name, and then I'm going to say if dot index of if it's got a comma in it, then I'm going to take. I just want everything before the comma. So I'm going to say weapon name dot. I think I've got everything before that comma. These are extension methods I created for the string, right? So if the index of that is greater than 0, then we're going to grab everything before that. And I think I need this to be that, for that to work. Okay, so let's get everything before that, and then we're going to trim it. Now, with that weapon name acquired, I should be able to go into all weapons, .get, and get the weapon name. Cool? Cool. Now, I'm new. What is it that you're doing? Asked Viceroy A77. Writing code in C#, trying to get to calculate the weapon damage die roll and the modifier correctly from the weapon that we're using. The weapon is based on some data that's out here. So the weapon has got things, it's declared over here. So it's got some basic damage. Now one of the ways we are specifying the weapons is what we're going to do with the one-handed and two-handed is what we're going to have to do. So we are, so we're basically trying to implement the rules of Dungeons and Dragons for the weapon, so we can do the die roll, and the die roll is correct when the weapon is used to attack. That's the essence of what we're doing quickly here. Okay. Well, let's just step to there and see how far we get. So we're there, and we're here. And do we have a weapon? We have a weapon. Whoops. So if the weapon is not null, then we need to go in and do some modifiers on this. We need to change some modifiers on this. So let's go back to our notes. So the damage modifier is your ability modifier. The weapon it's got a property called plus modifier. So I renamed that, by the way. That was a rename over here. This used to be modifier or something else like this. Changed to plus modifier. We used to have these all up and down with values. Now it's only the magic items that have it now. So that's the piece going on there. So, okay. So we need to calculate the modifier. So let's just create a new int here, call it modifier, like that. And let's set that equal to, we're going to start with action shortcut dot plus modifier. So that's what that's equal to as a base. Then the damage modifier is going to add to that our ability modifier. The ability modifier is going to be either strength, dexterity, or depending on which one is the highest. So we need to get both of those, I think. So we need to say dexterity modifier is equal to, and this is going to go to the player, which is right there. We haven't used that yet. We're about to. Player dot get ability modifier. Let's get attack modifier. Oh, cool. All right, cool. Cool. So we're going to say get attack modifier, ability dot dexterity. What is that? Is that coming back as a double? It is. All right, fine. We're going to work in doubles for a little bit here. and then we'll clean it up at the end. All right, there's my dexterity modifier. Let's change this to my strength modifier. Okay, next, we need to check to see if the weapon is finesse or not. If the weapon weapon properties I think there's an easier way to do this. I forget. I have to put this in parens. Some operator ordering, I think. Yeah. So if it's finesse, then we want to say we want to do this ability modifier, and we want to say ability modifier is equal to math.max of those two, dexterity and strength. Test rainbow not working. We'll fix that in a second. Otherwise, if weapon dot ranged the weapon properties, right? It's ranged, right? I just want to double check my weapons are mutually exclusive, that there's ranged and melee are, oh, we got some that are both. Because I can throw a dagger. And I can throw a spear, or I can strike with the spear. Which means I need for the dagger, I need two different attacks declared for it. Well, wait. Finesse, hold on. If it's got finesse for the double, is the Dungeon Master going to want me? Yeah, the Dungeon Master's might going to want to have me use dexterity for it if it's thrown. Strength for melee, dexterity for ranged. How am I going to tell if it's being used as ranged? I think it's in the shortcut. I think it's in the shortcut. So what I'm thinking here, I'm thinking about doing something like this. Adding a Boolean is ranged. The shortcut has a distinction of whether the dagger is going to be a melee or ranged. You know, which of the two it's going to be, the strike is going to be used as. I wonder if I have an enum out here. I wonder if I'm going to get into a lot of trouble with a search for melee. I'm going to find a lot of noise. Attack type. You could have an attack type property. I'm not entirely sure I like these though anyway. Weapon properties is melee, yeah. Spell type. Yeah. None of this is, it's kind of got stuff all over the place here. Of all those, I like the attack type the best. I think I'm going to kill this a second. And I'm going to go to action shortcut, player action shortcut, I think is what it was called. Right there. And I'm going to say, player action shortcut. Okay. Here's where we create the player action shortcut from the DTO. And let's see what's going on here. All right, so we're going to change this up a bit. Last shortcut, so it's getting a little crazy complex, but this is going to be this is going to be the my last shortcuts. Like that. Set it equal to null. And I'll show you where I'm going here. I'm going to create multiple shortcuts is what I'm going to need to do. Whoops. Okay. The reason why is that this player action shortcut from is got to now produce a list of player action shortcuts. That's what it's got to do. Let's go look inside that code. I just realized I got a hard stop today. Probably in about half an hour. Okay. Just got to return that. So, so we're going to say result, that, and then I'm going to say, now we got to add each one is what we got to do. So let's do, an extract method on this. I don't really like this method name that much, but now what we need to do is we need to ask a couple questions of the shortcut DTO. So we need to, for example, say, we need to do this. We need to say all weapons dot get, see if we can get shortcut DTO dot name. The shortcut DTO name is going to be like Battle Axe. Or maybe Greatsword, +1. Although this +1, I almost feel like we can kill this and have this name be automatically generated. We'll handle that in a second. Also, Battle Axe one-handed versus two-handed. So, we need to grab the name. And we need to clean up any of this extra stuff that might show up here. So we want to... let's go to D&D tool. Let's go to D&D utils get clean item name. Let's go declare that. Whoops. I want to do code cleanup because I don't quite succeed. Michael Jolly, I made it finally. I'm an official CodeRusher now. Yeah, Michael, you're totally CodeRusher. By the way, we normally, it looks like I've was at a breakpoint too long, but...
Michael Jolly is in the house.
Michael, no, watch out! Dude, I feel like you're just irresponsible with the way you're driving that thing. Let's go declare get clean item name. Let's put that over here. I'm like, just going crazy with the code, Michael Jolly. Unfortunately, I got a hard stop here in about 24 minutes, and I gotta be like, I gotta stop because I gotta go pick up a kid from a particular location and then get back. So I'm really enjoying the code I'm writing right now. But yeah, flying my taco while under the influence of sour cream. Folks, if you haven't seen Michael Jolly's stream, you got to go check it out. Michael Jolly, really worth watching. Totally enjoy the guy. He's got a great persona. Really fun to watch. Okay, get clean on my name. So we're going to do something like this. Hey, if name dot index of, if it's got an index of a comma, then we're going to say name is equal to name dot everything before the comma, like that. Well, if the index of, is greater than 0. Let's copy that clipboard, paste it down here. Actually, I should use CodeRushed to mark those two pieces I want. Should have gone like that. And then paste it, and now I can come in and say the next piece, if it's got an open paren, then I'm going to take everything before there, and then paste again, and if it's got an open bracket, the name is equal to that, and then we're going to say return name, like that. So that's going to clean that up. Okay, so all weapons. Now, here's the weapon. If we get that weapon, then we're going to do some fancy stuff. So if weapon, and I want to do the same thing. Hold on. Oh yeah, here we go. If it's a spell, bubble up the appropriate settings. Well, we got that part, but now I want to say if it's a spell, add entries for each spell slot. That's the next thing we need to do, because a spell can be cast at multiple spell slot levels and have different effects. And we want a shortcut for each of those, I think, or at least a really sophisticated shortcut. So if I say I want to cast Chaos Bolt, it gives me 3 spell slot levels from which I can cast it. And when I gain to higher levels and I gain a spell slot 4, I want a 4th one added automatically. So what that does too is that cleans up our shortcut, so we don't have to do this anymore. Right? We just have 1 for Chaos Bolt. Okay, but for now, if it's a weapon, and if the weapon is not null, actually, and we're saying then what we're going to do in here, we're going to say else, so we're going to say results dot add. Oops, I copied the wrong thing, really. That's what I want. Else results dot add that right there. Now I'm gonna add another parameter from enhanced. I haven't figured that out yet, but I will in a second. So now we're checking the weapon. If the weapon dot if it's versatile, it's got two of these. This is versatile. It can be used either way. If that's the case, I need two buttons, one-handed and two-handed, right? So, if weapon properties or weapon properties.versatile, like this whole thing needs to be in parens, whoops, I want just a single and. Weapon properties.versatile. Wait, sorry, hold on. Not or. That is an and it's equal to versatile. Then we would need to add two entries to it. So we're going to say results.add there. That's what I'm looking for, that. From enhanced needs two parameters inside, so it needs a damage string, I guess. Kind of an overriding damage string. About 12 minutes. We got to get out of here. And then it's going to have another string, which is going to be the suffix. And make this optional, set that equal to null. Do the same for this last one as well. Suffix is null. All right, come down here, die string. Okay, so now we're going to get the right damage in here now for that. Here's my name. Plus suffix. Now actually, I want suffix to not be defaulting to null, but to defaulting to empty string. Okay, so there's my name. Now, so that means I can come in here and I can say, okay, there's my one-handed, and here's my two-handed. Whoops. Like this, with this suffix. So I'm going to get two buttons instead of one for one entry. That's what my goal is here. So if it's versatile, I'm going to get those two. Said he was going to stream till 8 p.m. until you showed up. Now it's 25 minutes. Come goes, yeah, if I had a food supply here and I didn't have hard stops, today would be a day. I would do that. By the way, stay tuned. We're going to have probably some major announcement. Well, not on this show, but I think later this week, maybe if not later this week, probably next week. Major announcements on CodeRushed, which I think you're going to be excited about. So cool stuff with that coming up. All right. So that takes care of one of those issues. Is that the only one I need to worry about? No, then I need to figure out which one of these to use is what I need to do. Which is basically, I think, is it two-handed or not? If it's not versatile, then I need to know if it's two-handed. So this is going to come down here and say else if we're two-handed. Then we're going to say, it's just really this, but there's nothing else added. We're just adding that damage two-handed. If it's not two-handed, then it's got to be one-handed. Then we're going to say else and add the damage one-handed. Like that. Am I getting it? Am I going to spell that out correctly? It refactors while you sleep now. No, it does not. Okay. So that solves that. I think that takes care of everything, all of those issues. The range, we should get those, the range is coming in elsewhere. So if the weapon isn't there, and we're going to add something. So it's one of those options with the weapon. So we've just solved the versatility, I think. And so we're going to come out of this with one or possibly two action shortcuts. And then from those action shortcuts, when we're here, we are going to add effects for those in multiples if we need to. I think that's going to work. So now, is that enough to run or not? Do we have a build? I feel like there's something else I was in the middle of doing that we didn't finish. Oh, it was over in the higher level. I think I'm not done. It's up here in the activate shortcut. Yeah. Okay. So now, if it's finesse, the ability modifier is that. Oh, we need to figure out if it's a ranged or not attack on the shortcut. That's something new we have to do. Okay, hold on a second. If it's ranged, we're going to add an arranged one, and if it's melee, and some of these have both. I almost feel like I need to do this. Is that gonna work? No. Are there any versatile weapons that also have both melee and ranged? No. shoot. Yes. So versatile as one-handed, two-handed, and can be thrown or melee. Essentially, there's 4 possibilities here. Wow. Okay. So I think we need to do this. If it's melee and if it is ranged, then we're in a real special place. A really special place. But it's only that other combo there. Otherwise, we're going to just do this right here. Now, if we're in this special place, what do I want to do? Attack type. Yeah, it's a little crazy. There's actually 4 attacks for the javelin. Do we agree with this? Two-handed? Or is it just the slice that's two-handed and the thrown is one? I think that's actually better. So we're just going to have 2 here. So the melee is a two-handed slice. The one-handed is a ranged thrown. All right. So now we're going to add this as a parameter here, the attack type, as an additional piece down here. And say none for now. Yeah. Yeah, you can hold it like this in the game, right? That you can hold it like this and it's a melee, kind of like that. So you can throw it and you can kind of poke with it. All right, next I want to come in here now and say result equals attack type. Result.attack type equals attack type. Like that. Okay, we've just done that. Let's see if these are used anywhere else. I think they're just... Okay. There's my attack type. That's in there now. So we just got those 2. That's better. Okay, so now with that data, we can come back over here. We can say, hey, if action short.attack type is equal to, what's my time? I'm running out of time. If it's equal to ranged, we just at least we'll write the code. We won't be able to test it here. Go back to the notes. If it's ranged, we're going to use dexterity. So our ability modifier is going to be dexterity. Else, it's going to be our ability modifier is going to be our strength modifier. Okay, now that we've got our ability modifier, and it's also, it shouldn't be equals, it should be plus equals. Oh no, wait, I'm wrong. The modifier should be down. Then we come down here and we say modifier plus equals the ability modifier, like that. All right, now that we've got our modifier, we should be able to go out and we should say, I think tbx modifier dot text is equal to modifier dot to string. Not to make things awkward, but could you use no javelin or spear one-handed with the shield like Spartans used to? Copper beardy. Yes, I suppose you could. So we're going to do that. One-handed slice. Well, let's get these damages right. Jeez. So that's two-handed. So we're going to need to go back to damage one-handed. Stabbed. Yeah, you got a one-handed melee attack. That's how I use one-handed spears anyway. Yeah, okay, fine. So we've got a stab. There's no two-handed throw. We agree with that, right? Nobody's going to be like, except for me. Me on a real battlefield. They like doing that. All right, one-handed stabbed. All right, so we got 3 in there. Are javelins supposed to be smaller? I always assume they'd break if you used them that way. Putting in D&D, there's kind of this wide, wide range, wide gamut here for what a battle axe can be. You can have an incredibly well-built, fine-crafted battle axe and a crappy battle axe, and they both do the same damage, right? And so the same thing with spears. There's lots of different kinds of well, you do have a spear and a javelin. There are two different things here. But the javelin actually can only do one-handed damage. The spear can be thrown. Or no, wait, two-handed damage. So yeah, maybe you're right about the javelin being, it can't be used two-handed. Yeah, it's the spear that's the tricky thing. So yeah, the spear can maybe use as stabbing. That's what I'm assuming there. All right. And I've got to end the show. I'm going to have to do it. I'm bummed. But I'm like right here, and we've just modified that. We're about ready to test. About ready to test. And I will see if we can resist the urge to not test this till tomorrow. We'll see you tomorrow at on Thursday. Let me see who's out here streaming. Anybody? No one I know is streaming. Is that really true? Wait, Talk to Me Gooseman looks live. Just make sure I'm not looking at a previous broadcast here. Am I just not following you? Oh, okay, I'm not following you. Sorry about that, buddy. Let's go rate Talk to Me Gooseman. Let's do it, kids. We'll send you out there. Survival training. Don't talk to me about survival training. All right, guys. Thanks so much. It's been good to have you out here. We'll jump you on over there to Talk to Me Gooseman. And we'll see you tomorrow.
Let's just see the latest commands. We need to do one for audio. Oh, CodeRushed.
Red alert. Red alert. We are being invaded. Batten down the hatches. Grab the immense. Defend the chat. We are under attack.
Thank you very much, CodeRushed, for the raid. 17 people.